What a day. And what an incredible 24 hours. Last night, the President of the United States gave an order, and through the swift work of our men and women in uniform, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and a few other people, and we'll be talking about this a little later, but essentially, Iran's nukes just got taken away. And we'll be talking about that. That's not what we're opening up the show with. In fact, welcome to episode 20 of Apostate Radio. I am, of course, Isaiah Carter. I am coming to you from uptown, the boogie down Bronx. And to the left, to the right of you on your screen is one of my best friends, a guy who I have come to really appreciate and love for several years now, going to be in my wedding and everything. He is the author of this book, The Children We Left Behind. This is a fantastic book. If you have not picked up your copy, you are missing out. Joining the show once again is Mr. Adam B. Coleman. What's happening, brother?
Not much. Staying busy, as usual.
And also returning after being away briefly, my dog from the land of a Pete's, back from the injured list. After suffering an eye injury, I give you Mr. Nostra Chavez, a.k.a. Actually, yeah. I was going to say you kind of look like, you ever played Metal Gear Solid? You kind of got the whole Solidus Snake thing going.
Snake, that's right. I was thinking more Slick Nick, man. La-de-da-de. La-de-da-de.
Slick Nick.
You're going to say Dan Crenshaw.
We like to party. I'm a big Slick Rick fan, so I had to do it.
Oh my God!
Shout out to Rick the Roll. He just came out with a new album, by the way. The Victory, I think it's called. Or...
Did he really?
Yeah, I've been waiting for it for like 15 years, and he finally decided to put out an album. I don't know what he was waiting for because he was out of jail and everything. So,
oh wow!
Wait. Slick Rick was in jail?
Again. Oh, you didn't know that?
I did.
In the 90s, yeah, that was like famous. He shot like his manager, his brother-in-law or something.
You're talking about back then. Oh, yeah.
Like he was like the hottest rapper, like in '89, I think. You know, he came out with Children's Story, which everybody sampled, and Mona Lisa and Hey Young World and all that.
Mm-hmm.
He was the man. Like he was like, you know, everybody like Nas loves him. Like a lot of like Wu-Tang loves him. Like that's like one of their biggest idols. And then like I think right after, like a year or two later, like I think he caught his brother-in-law stealing from him or something like that, or laundering money from him.
Oh,
I think it was brother-in-law or brother. I think it was brother-in-law who's like managing his money, and then I think he got pissed and shot him. So I don't think he killed him. It was like attempted murder or something. And then he got like 7 years. I think he was like in jail like almost the whole 90s. Came out in like 97, 98, and he did that song with Outkast and made an art of storytelling. It was a really good album.
Oh my God!
I thought you were saying he just got out.
No. He got deported though. Actually, he got deported mad times, like in the 2000s.
He sure did. I remember that.
To London.
Oh,
He's from London.
Yeah, he got deported back to the UK.
Yeah, there's so much I don't know.
Oh yeah, I think he's like a British Jamaican, maybe, but I know he's British. He's from London.
I think he is British Jamaican.
That is funny.
Yeah. Rick the Ruler, man. Shout out. Now I'm rocking the eye patch. I got scratched by a little female monkey that my little pet, my daughter, who I was trying to get her to go to sleep, my wife, and playing with her, and then she just went like that right to my middle of my eyeball, and she's strong, man, and cut me right next to my freaking eyeball, like, and it was fucked up. It was really painful. I was like, this is not normal. This is not like a normal eye poke, and I was like thinking about going to the hospital, but then it was late, so I just went to sleep, and then went to the urgent care the next day because it wasn't getting better. And apparently she like made a cut in there, but
We're glad you're back, dude. We are.
But I gotta wear this. I gotta wear this eye patch for the rest of my life now, though. So that's a thing.
The Costa Rican Dan Crenshaw.
Costa Rican Crenshaw, man.
Costa Rican Crenshaw. Holy shit! Yes.
I don't know if that's a good. I don't think we should use that because I think a lot of people don't like Crenshaw.
Probably
not. I like Crenshaw, but a lot of people think he's a rhino, right? That's what everybody says.
Yeah. So Marie Isabella, we got a lot of stuff to cover tonight. We got a
Marie,
lot.
Where you go? Wait. You just saying hi, but it can't stay long. What do you got to do, Marie? This is Apostate Radio now. That means you got to keep the next 3 hours.
Yeah, because we've got stuff
open
all 3 hours. Let me before I go any further, before we go any further, we got to give a shout out to Frank McCormick, aka Chalkboard Heresy. He had to postpone. He was not feeling well, and I am hoping that he is getting better. We will, happily have him back on. He's a good man. He's a great man, in fact. And Frank, we love you, brother. Get well soon.
Make sure you hit a doctor's note, man.
Yeah, get a doctor's note.
You need a doctor's note, bro. You know how it is, teacher. Hey. And by the way, that's two people playing hooky the last 2 weekends. Me and then our brother Frank McCormick.
Yeah.
What are the odds? What are the odds, man?
Well, Maria Isabella's asleep. I'm fucking old.
I hear that. I hear you, Maria. I'm just kidding, Maria.
Yeah. We love you. We
get some rest. You can always check us out later.
Exactly. And Marie, I want to just say this. This is true gratitude. I really, really appreciate everything that we appreciate all the kind words. We appreciate the support. You've been with us since day one. We've got a lot of day ones that we really have a lot of gratitude for. I know this has just really been a spirit of gratitude over the last several months, and especially with doing this show, met a lot of great people. And I just want to again give a word of thanks just to everybody for these over the last several shows. Let's get to business before. But yeah, so you can follow us as ever. You can follow us at Isaiah L. Carter. Individually, you can follow us at Isaiah L. Carter or Nostra Chavez, or Chavez Crenshaw. Yeah, you can. Our show page, as always, is Apostate Radio NY. You can find out about different updates, show stuff, anything, talk a little shit on there, whatever whatever your pleasure might be. And if you want to support the show directly, you can hit us up at buymeacoffee.com/apostate radio. Chavez's drawer the man is still in need of some draws.
Yeah, my scrot fell out of my underwear today. That's how holy they are right now. They're holier than the need a papa.
Oh God. Anyway,
holier than the Vatican.
Oh my God.
Help me out, man. Help me out.
Updates rather. So at long last, I mentioned this earlier last week, subscriptions are now available at Isaiah L. Carter at $5 a month. We will be, you'll get your opportunity to ask questions. Still working on some of the other stuff that we're planning to offer, different giveaways and things of that nature. So
my new OnlyFans subscription.
Oh, come on.
Part of the monthly $5. $5 a month, you get full access.
Are you? Please don't tell me. Please don't tell me you're going to do the whole Tommy Sotomayor thing.
Who isn't she a court justice?
No. Tommy Sotomayor, not the one in. No. Yeah. Long story. I'll explain. Anyways. Marie said she found our show when we interviewed James Lindsay. And loved our stuff.
That was a good episode, Marie.
Yes,
that's when we found you.
Yes, indeed.
Definitely.
Adam, you've been gone for a while, sir. And the second you came back with a vengeance. Earlier this week, you wrote a piece, I believe it was on Friday, about Whoopi Goldberg. You know,
she drives me nuts. She says like some of the most retarded shit every week, almost. I feel like, or every other week.
Well, I mean,
she's on a cadence.
Listen, it's between her and Sonny Hostin.
Yeah, well,
between those two, between her and Hostin, it's like what the fuck? Like why in the world are we entertaining this nonsense on a daily basis? It's like I've never seen such a devotion to keeping people scared shitless.
Yeah,
I think that's quite literally. I don't know if I said this on air, but I am convinced now that the Democrat Party exists only to induce mental illness on its supporters. I have never been more convinced of this up until recently.
Yeah, and it goes back to Adam said, and last time he was on, remember Adam? You mentioned how they're cable news, and probably The View is one of them as well, is radicalizing boomers.
Oh yeah,
remember that?
Yeah, and I saw something. Without giving too many details,
liberal boomers especially.
I saw something I heard something in person that I was just like, oh my God, like it's real. And it was so casual, but we can dive into that.
Well, for context sake, I do want to actually talk about, I want to actually show everyone the video in question. This is from, I believe it was, hold on a second. This is from the 18th, I believe. Yeah, it's from the 18th. Let me just double check the date on that, because I want to make sure we get this correct. This is from, the 18th. This is from the 18th. So the Persian Jewess says, Whoopi Goldberg, hold on, I didn't even bring it up. Whoopi Goldberg says being black in America is worse than being a woman in Iran.
Is that true, guys? Like, we got two black guys on the. I guess. Yeah, she being black in America. She didn't say black women. So, what do you guys think? Is that?
But before we get into what I think,
it's like living under the. It's worse than living under the Ayatollah as a woman. That makes sense.
Fucking Christ. Okay, let's. Yeah. You got to see this. Matter of fact, let me just make sure that this is correct. And
she's probably worth like $100 million at least.
Oh, at least. Here we go.
And it's slow.
But let's just remember too, the Iranians literally throw gay people off of buildings. They don't adhere to basic human rights.
Listen, here's the thing. Let's not do that, because if we start with that, we have been known in this country to tie gay folks to the car.
Where the Iranians famous 2 days.
I'm sorry, they used to just keep hanging black people. So
it is not even the same.
It's, before I go any further, before we go any, but like here's what gets me just enraged. The first thing she did was she started talking about gay people. She never once started, she started with gays and then went to blacks.
The balls.
It's worse. It's like that we just finished tying gays to a car to the post.
And here's the fundamental
word. Hold on. The operative word to that is finished. We finished.
Yeah, when was that? Like 1980s, 90s, maybe? Like some crazy guy did that.
God.
And it's like it's put into law in like Iran that like they stone you to death or throw you off a fucking roof or put you in prison. It's like there's a real big difference.
They're doing that now. And that's the part that they're not saying. No, Adam, go ahead. I'm sorry. I wanted to, because you.
Adam wrote a story about this.
God.
Well, not diving.
Yes.
Just making a comment off of what she was just saying. So every society has bad things, right? Every society has bad things. We are the freest nation in the world, yet we still have murders, right? We can't prevent murders. Like, there's murders everywhere, right? But here's the difference. Some guys getting together to tie up some gay person to a car and drive them around to kill them is not state sanctioned. It is bad people doing bad things.
That's
right?
the operative word, yeah.
And so when it is state sanctioned, that certain activities lead you to either be imprisoned or being killed, that is an entirely other avenue. And so, and we can definitely dive into the boomer aspect later on. But there is something. I have recently having this conversation with my wife. I'm like, this keeps popping up. There is something about Black boomers, especially, where they every day is 1965, and you'll hear her say, "In 1965, that's when the," and she's looking at her. She's like, "I'm talking about Iran now."
Exactly.
Now, what is happening? And it's like this weird. We're all revolutionaries. Let's all pretend that we lived under Jim Crow. Like, it's just like this weird. We've never left 1965 behind.
They don't want to leave 1965, Adam, because then it gets irrelevant. And all the horseshit they're saying, they got to stay there. It's not just boomers. It's millennials. It's and it's also probably some Zoomers. They're still like that.
No, but here's the difference: is that they were alive, and so for them, they get to use that. I was around, right? It was like you were 10.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
yeah.
It's stuff like that where rhetorically, that's why I want to correct myself. Rhetorically, they lean on that it's 1965, but how they live their lives is very much so present day.
Exactly.
That is like it's like this weird clash between the two, where they cannot drop that 1965. Let's just presume that they're right. 1965 was bad, right? They cannot presume that 1965 and now is a sign of progress. It's just that 2025 just has like this underpinning of 1965 somewhere. It's just like they just cannot let it go rhetorically.
Yeah.
But look, Adam, I think you're really. I just want to say, I think you're really like Black people have to you show ID to vote and stuff. I mean, that's basically like 1860 slavery, right?
If we can get ID in the first place, man. Apparently,
you guys don't even know what computers are, so.
No, I don't know how to get no ID. I ain't never had to get no ID. I don't know shit. Like, I don't know nothing.
So
basically 1700s though.
Getting the ID is hard.
Can I slightly sidetrack this conversation just for
sorry, Adam. I had to
go right ahead, brother.
So I was sort of bored, and I was talking to Grok, and I said to Grok, if I was a deep-seated racist, but I didn't want to be obvious, right? I wanted to be very incognito. What policies would I support? And the policies that Grok actually spat out to me were basically what you would consider like Republican policies, right? Getting rid of going towards merit-based things and doing all these particular things. And so one of the things was like having education merit-based. And I said to Grok, so are you saying that Black people can't compete against other people? And Grok was like, I am not implying that. I'm not trying to say that. And Grok started defending. So I said to Grok,
Grok's like, I got a lot of Black friends, man. Come on.
Yeah. I got Black friends, man. Don't tell Black AI about this.
I got Black friends, bro. Come on, man. Don't tell anybody I said that.
I said, do you want to hear what I think? And I said, if I was a a racist and I wanted my white supremacy to be something that gives me an advantage, what I would support, let's say in education, is making sure that we keep the status quo, making sure that the money going into corrupt hands, right? I actually, sorry, I did this, but I use Baltimore as an example because it's a great example.
Oh, God, really?
I'm sorry, it's the most obvious. It's majority.
Look what they did to Isaiah, man. Look at him.
It's majority black, right? Majority black population. It's majority black in all forms of in government. All the important positions, they're all black. And or is the educational system? Who controls the education system?
Yep.
People more often than not are black, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
and or at least Democrats.
Well, that's the whole other piece.
Yeah.
But I was specifically talking about like race.
Sure. No, sure.
So I said, if you look at that, Baltimore receives more money per pupil than any other child in any other school district in the state. So money is not the issue because Grok was trying to say, oh, the Republicans would, or someone who would take that position would limit the money. I said, well, money is not the issue here. There's plenty of money. It's corruption. So if I was someone who wanted to make sure that black people did not succeed, I would use Baltimore as an example and keep the status quo because it's very clear that there is mismanagement or corruption that is happening there. So I would make sure that we keep the money going into the avenue because it's working.
Yep.
And so I made this a little bit more of an argument to Grok, and Grok conceded your plan is better.
Wow.
Wow.
That's as Grok felt bad though because he was talking shit about black people before.
No, it broke it down. It was like, you know what? Actually, you're right. That does sound more.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely your plan. Definitely is better, and it's also, Adam. You'll realize this as well. I'm sure that it's not just that. Obviously, there's a issue in the black community with a little bit more higher rate of fatherlessness. That's another big part of it. That doesn't help. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, corruption, and not just corruption with the Democrats who usually are running the Department of Education and schools and you name it. They also have really bad policies, right? I mean, like they're teaching like critical race theory, they're teaching things that are divisive, you name it. Like there's a lot of different ways but those are three are really serious issues, and that's, boy, is that not going to help out raising black people, Latino people, whoever, to be equal to whoever the Asians or something like that.
Exactly.
That was the other point I made to Grok, was that with DEI, I would make sure that DEI would stay in and replace math, science, replace all that stuff, or slowly infect that stuff with DEI components, and making sure that these kids can graduate illiterate, right? Exactly. And make sure they're not proficient. So when they become adults and go into the job market, they can't compete against them.
Right.
So I was making all these arguments, and Grok was like, yeah, actually, that is better. If you're a racist,
that's funny.
That's the way you would actually go.
No.
No, that's true. It's so funny that so many people see it the opposite way. Like if we just listen to Democrats and if we just, went full progressive and just poured more and more money. Of course, they want more and more money because they just continue to give themselves raises and launder it and put it in NGOs like we've seen with USAID and that sort of thing.
The most,
but the thing is, you can't, obviously, how many decades of like, especially certain cities, certain communities where Democrats have just owned it. They have the system by the balls for decades, and it gets worse and worse and worse. Like when was there accountability?
I mean, well, there won't be any accountability, and I think that's one of the things that I've actually listened to some people talk about, how there's a bit of black privilege, where now the privilege in amongst blacks in America is you can be as corrupt as you want to be. Okay, the Tiffany Henyards of the world, the Lori Lightfoots, the Brandon Johnsons of the world, right? Just taking money, doing whatever they want to do. The Tish Jameses of the world, where you can sit up, you can hoist yourself on your own petard, and then the state will bail you out to the tune of, oh, we're going to create a special fund for elected officials who might be going through legal problems right as you're under investigation for corruption.
Like our brother Eric Adams.
Well, no. I'm talking about on the state level.
Oh, the state level, sure. Yeah.
Kathy Hochul, like up here, well, down here for you, Kathy Hochul and the Dems here in Albany. Well, I'm not here in Albany, but up in Albany for me. Well, like they passed the bill and said, hey, you know, we're gonna create a fund to pay legal fees to elected officials who are undergoing legal trouble. They did that shit. Right to shame. So again, that becomes, as much as we would fight against that, right? That becomes the new black privilege that we're known for. You can be as corrupt, you can be as racist, you can be as nasty as you want to be, and not only will you get away with it, but you'll also be fated for it by your Democrat peers.
Well,
That's
this is
upsetting to me. Like, how is that progress?
well, it's
How is
not.
that real progress?
But that's the thing with stuff like DEI, or even just when you allow an environment where someone can use their race to an advantage, then what you're allowing is the most mediocre and corrupt people to be elevated. And so, to me, it's not by accident that Jasmine Crockett became popular after she started talking like a city girl. Like, there's no, because we've seen footage before she got into office,
right?
And she sound reasonable and sort of normal, and now she has to talk like a trash human being to get a bunch of attention. And you know what?
And it's
blame her because it worked. It worked.
Yeah, it did work. Yeah.
It
And
worked.
also to both, I think that Isaiah was saying before, and Adam, I think like when you lower the standards for a certain group of people, and you said mediocrity rises, it's also like you're never gonna, it just makes that group duller, more dull, more less skilled, less because like adversity and challenge and pushing kids harder in adults, harder to be the smartest person, the best scholar, the best whatever, is gonna create excellence, right? And like not everybody's gonna reach excellence. Not every from any group of people. Most people don't. That's the point, right? But so if you have like lower standards, like, oh well, they just can't do this. Well, let's get rid of the test scores. Like they're trying to do things like that. It's like that's gonna affect the whole group of people, right? And a whole generation of people in a negative way, and they're going to be less and less and less competent. And it's like to I think your original point, it's like it's like it's like a trick. It's like a trick from the Democrats, who are supposed to be the ones helping minorities, marginalized groups, and it's almost like it sometimes seems like for decades that they're trying to hurt that group. Like I don't know if they are, but that's what it sometimes seems like.
I mean, I would argue that's
what's happening.
Listen, I would argue that the Democrat Party, I've been saying this for a while now. The Democrat Party have proven time and time and time again that they are done with black folk. I came out of a neighborhood where, again, in Brownsville, Brooklyn, okay, all of the homeless shelter buildings in my neighborhood were filled with illegals. And there were 3 of them in my immediate neighborhood. I could walk to the Saratoga Avenue stop on the 3 train, and there were 3 homeless shelters in that immediate area. All of them were filled with illegals. I have picked migrants off the ground on my block, okay, on my block, who were drunk. I have spoken yes, on a weekday morning. I picked them up off.
I'm so tired,
bro.
I'm so tired, man.
Yeah. So
I drink too much, man.
Right, and then another day, a guy what happened was they used to come from Floyd Bennett Field, which is in the south of Brooklyn, like all the way towards Jamaica Bay, and they came in and they would come up and like harass people in the immediate neighborhoods for food, for money, for work, like all sorts of shit. You don't do this to black people in black neighborhoods unless you are sending the message that we are done with you. Okay? The fact that it's all these, the fact that all of these all these elected officials that we've talked about who are corrupt, who are actively doing things to hurt their constituents. Okay. The fact that they've put a black face on it, it makes it even worse. It makes the whole look even worse. And again, it's like, and also what they're doing is they are tacitly approving of the degeneracy. I'm going to find this one thing that proves this. And but I want to get back to Whoopi's like unbelievably unhinged foolishness. Let me get back to this right here. Here we go. We're going to restart it.
Same. I couldn't step during this.
Wait. That's not what you mean to say. It is the same.
No, it's not. The year 2025 in the United States is nothing like if I stepped foot wearing this outfit in Toronto.
Listen, I'm sorry.
Well, they went like around. No, I can't have my hair showing. I can't wear a skirt. I can't have my arms out.
I'm telling you, as
I literally said it was up to the Iranian people.
Yes,
it is up to them.
And that's why I am saying that it is the same. Murdering someone for their difference is not good. Whoever does it. It's not.
Like, does she even believe this shit herself?
Yes.
Like, how do you believe this? How in the world can? Matter of fact, let me scroll up a minute in the comments because there's one person who said, Lisa 0818 from Rumble says her net worth is $30 million.
No way. How is she only at $30 million? She's been on The View for like 15 years.
She's been with The View for 15 years. She's
At
been
least. I don't know.
She's been a Hollywood actress.
Yeah, she's had big movies.
30
and shit. Ghost.
Holy fuck. What have you been doing with your life? You're
That's
worth
crazy.
30 million. You are worth.
You gotta get better with your money. Well, I'd be like a billionaire right now.
You're worth $30 million.
She's
Okay.
been famous since like the 80s. That's
She's
the
gonna
stock
have, like, 2
market.
divorces. Maybe she lost some.
Yeah. She probably had to marry some like
Ted Danson open her ass. Is that what you saying?
Is she a lesbian?
Ted Danson. No. Well, I don't know what she is now. I don't know what she is now, but it's just it's incredible to me how this is honestly why I can't stand disconnected black people. I can't stand it. Quick story, if you will. Okay. During the Melissa Harris Perry days of MSNBC, it was one of the first times I heard of the term respectability politics. Okay. Because they had gotten mad because black folk of a certain elite blacks who get on who used to go like cycle on the MSNBC and all the other networks, they were mad at Don Lemon. I mean, who ain't mad at Don Lemon these days for that speech? Remember that speech he gave a while ago? We were saying how black folk need to pull up their pants. And they went crazy. And that was the first time that I heard respectability politics.
That's right. Yeah.
Black folks should not have to conform to the standards set on us by white people. And it's just like, well, fuck, we just asked you to pull up your pants. You out here selling your ass on, intentionally or otherwise. And people
imagine if I did that, Isaiah. Imagine if I was walking around my pants hanging on my waist with my holy underwear.
Oh my God.
You ever think about that? That's the kind of like that's that'd be a real issue.
I hope he's not thinking about that.
You can think about it a little bit, just in case.
I can't, bro. Oh my God. Okay, you ruined it. Oh, jeez.
Oh, we like to have fun here in Apostate Radio.
Oh, yes, we do. We do. Oh, God. Lisa said, Lisa 0818 says she's probably hiding money. It's probably true.
Hope so.
And let's see here. She's seems Red Leg Schnauzer says seemed like she'd have more just from Star Trek. I know. I forgot all about that.
Oh yeah, Star Trek. Yeah, she should be making
Generation. What happened to all that money?
Jeez, that's true. Now she had big jobs.
And Lisa says the View pays her.
She's got more money than that, man.
$8 million.
She got a bad gambling problem or something.
Fuck.
This is a sex worker addiction. Hitting up the brothels.
She got an OnlyFans problem. Oh shit. Oh, okay. All right. Let me.
That I don't want to think about. Let's move on.
I don't want to think about that either.
That image.
Looking at Rachel Dolezal's OnlyFans.
Jesus.
Damn.
Not good. So that's why I said you weren't saying what I heard was not what you meant.
I think it's very different to live in the United States in 2025 than it is to live in Iran.
Not if you're black.
Not for everybody.
Not if you're black.
Guys, don't go to Tehran. Do not anyone at the table should go to Tehran.
Let me tell you about being in this country. This is the greatest country in the world.
You here comes the contradiction.
Right.
You ready for this? It's the greatest country in the world, right?
But yeah, I know that. And we all know that.
Go ahead.
But every day we are worried. Do we have to be worried about our kids? Are our kids going to get shot because they're running through somebody's neighborhood?
I'm worried about that. I'm worried about how dirty them fucking white socks you got on. I'm gonna get through when you walking through the streets in New York. Well, I forgot. He probably gets caught.
Dusty.
Yo, hold on a second. Hold on a second. This shit.
Sitting there roasted Whoopi for about 20 minutes now.
Yeah. We ain't even gotten to this man's piece. We ain't even gotten this man's piece. But we will in a second. I promise. We just in here shooting on this woman. Like, and to be honest, but it's deserved. It's deserved.
It is deserved. She's out of control.
You can't. First, your net worth has to be somewhere below $50,000 a year to be rocking white socks everywhere, and everything in this goddamn town, every single day, New York City, I see these fucking hipsters. I see white women out here. All of these awfuls. I see these black dudes out here. I see black girls out here in every single borough that I'm in, and they all rock white socks. Why?
I didn't know that.
Old anymore. Your parents do not have to buy you socks. Why are you wearing white socks? And why they all up past your ankle?
What's wrong with you?
What you're saying is you're upset about white sock supremacy.
Oh, that's a big.
Yes.
That is a big. That's something we got. That's your next piece, Adam. That's your next New York Post piece right there, bro. White sock supremacy.
Yes. I actually, you know what? I'm actually with that. Hold on a second. Yeah, here we go. This chick, man.
They are not big deals, and I don't mean to say they're not big deals to you, because that's not
women,
what I meant.
And they are not doing well there either. They are not doing well in Iran. They are not educated. They cannot property. They cannot leave things.
I'm talking about
nobody wants to diminish the very real problems we have in this country. That is no one's intent.
Good.
But I think it's important we remember there are places much darker than this country and people who deserve rights.
Not everybody feels that way.
I don't give a fuck how you feel. How you feel? How about that?
Oh God.
Nah, man. If you no, dead ass.
What a ridiculous show, man.
Like, here's the problem with stuff like that, right? These people, first off, white liberals consider black people to be oracles. White liberals really feel that way about black women. They consider black women to be special beings from some different planet.
Dude,
right?
To just that point, did you remember that video where there's like that weird white girl on the street corner somewhere in Brooklyn or something like that? She's like, it's like black woman lead the way or something, like she's like singing that song. She made like a fucking gospel hymn out of black women leading the way. I'm like, what is going on with you people? Right. Like, just based on just anybody of a certain race and gender is like suddenly your leader. Like, how about, all right, maybe it should be Candace Owens, or maybe it should be Condoleezza Rice. I mean, what's wrong with you?
They literally treat black women as these oracles who have this special ability to just place, to just like white people could just put all their burdens on a black woman's back and they can mule for their agendas and just go along, and we pay them a little bit of money and and they can just go off, and maybe we'll let them marry a white man or something like that, and we won't say anything bad about them. This is seriously, I hate this. I despise this. And the thing is, the way they treat black men is, well, this is the other reason why they're losing. They're losing both sexes. They're losing. The Democrats are losing both.
Everybody, man.
They're losing everybody. It's fucking crazy. But the fact is, they're losing black men because they have nothing to offer us. They have nothing to offer us. They don't even want to talk to black men. In fact, this is what I was trying. Go ahead, Adam. It's like
they offer black men excuses. That's about it. That's what they offer.
I don't even think it's the offer part. I think for a lot of people, it is about some level of respect or acceptance. And when the greatest example is when Barack Obama went and chastised black men for hypothetically not wanting to support Kamala Harris
for the sisters
because she's a woman. Not because they said, I just can't vote for a woman. They had questions.
God forbid.
So it wasn't even like he's trying to imply them asking questions is because she's a woman.
Sexist.
And I was like, you do realize a lot of these dudes grow up in single mother homes, like like a woman being in charge is not a stretch to them.
Right.
Maybe they're asking questions because you ask questions about every politician, especially one who's running for president.
People should be trying to earn your votes,
Right.
Exactly.
But that's the thing. You're not respected enough to have your questions answered. Right? They're not even saying like, we want X, Y, and Z, which by the way, I really hate like group politics because I think it's all bullshit. You know what people care about? If you want to know who's going to win, look at the economy. That's the easiest way. If the economy is great, the person who's running for re-election is going to win. If the economy's doing bad, he's going to lose. Like that's your biggest tell.
As it gets.
And safety and security, which the Democrats failed with the open borders and being pro-crime. That's another big part.
I would put that as immigration became like either the number one and number two issue, but immigration became an economic and safety issue, which is why it was so detrimental to them.
Terrorism too, potential terrorism.
Yeah, but when people are like, "What are you gonna give black people?" It's like, what does that even fucking mean? Like, where the black people check, you want reparations? Some people want reparations. And good luck waiting for reparations.
I'm gonna identify as black if we have reparations. Like that's I'm going on the record right now on Apostate Radio, episode number 28 or wherever we're on right now. I am gonna be identifying as black, like my homegirl Rachel Dolezal. So yes, you guys keep
and then pepperonis and then pepperonis. Anyways, Red Leg Schnauzer says, "How can I comment on screen?" Well, you just did, buddy.
Leo Red Leg Schnauzer.
And he also asked, well, I must be on the wrong platform. No, you aren't.
You're on the right one. You're on the right
one.
You
are on the right one here. Our other guests are down below, and they'll be coming in momentarily. So we've got this is like the biggest show.
There's too much to talk about today. Like we haven't gotten to any like the topics besides Adam's. Did we even fully get into Adam's?
God damn,
we're having too much fun over here.
Yeah, we have been. So let's do this, okay?
Finish playing because what Joy said, Joy becomes the Black Whisperer.
No, here we go.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's right. Definitely that.
Oh God! Here we go. Okay, all right. You know, I might need some more liquor. Hold on.
Not everybody feels that way. Listen, I'm sorry. You know, when you
Hold on. Why are your feelings more important than everybody else's?
think about the fact that we got the vote in 1965.
Okay, they don't.
That is bullshit. That is bullshit. Black people, black men. Well, black men got the right to vote right after the Civil War. But anyways,
Have free and fair elections in Iran. It's not even the same universe. They can't go out of their house. Women,
you know what? There's no way I can make you understand.
No, Whoopi just feels that way, and if she feels that way, you just got to accept it. All right, that's it.
My feelings mean more than everyone else. My feelings mean more than everyone else. Because my lived experience, I am a black woman making $30 million. I'm worth $30 million a year. My life sucks.
Her feelings need to warp reality to whatever she wants it to be, man. That's just reality for everybody now.
So, okay, all right, here we go. Because like I really want to get to this last part because, oh boy, here we go. Hold on, let me just get to this.
It's like try to reverse roles with a black person in this country, let's say, because I think that's what you're talking about.
Yes.
Just try to understand from their point of view. From that point of view, this country does not do them well. Does not go for
I
them.
completely acknowledge that.
And we shouldn't compare atrocities.
If you're talking about Iran, of course, is doing worse things. But relatively speaking,
Joy, you know
it feels bad.
Okay, but I think you know that Iran is significant.
I guess we're going to come back and
Listen,
talk.
I was in college.
That didn't turn out all that well.
Ooh, at least they actually had an interesting conversation there, even though it was a lot of retardation. But
yeah, but
Chavez, imagine yourself as a black person.
I do all the time. I'm getting ready for reparations, but I'm being prepared for reparations.
Goofy fucking conversation. These are grown people. These are people who are like twice my age. Or not twice my age. That'd be really old.
Hold on, maybe.
But like almost twice my age.
Almost.
Saying, now imagine you're this type of person. Like, where are we? Like, they're just human beings. Could you imagine being a human being? No, imagine a black person, because my God, it must be so hard being black. I mean, how do we wake up in the morning, Isaiah?
Jesus. Yeah, how do you guys do it, man? Just oppressed all day long.
These days, I feel a lot of pain because I got plantar fasciitis. My plantar fasciitis has been flared up. So now every day when I wake up, I can't take more than a couple steps before I'm in pain, and I just blame the white man.
That's what I'm gonna do with it.
I sit up and I just blame the white man for every possible thing that goes wrong in my life. And that's all. It's just all that black folk can do. We just upset and ornery. We just want to twerk on everything. We just want to shake the police and just express our rage, express our black pain through twerking on the police. Like, oh.
Yeah.
My brother, let me educate you a little bit. The reason why you having all the pain in your foot is because the cement that you be stepping on was poured in 1965 when the white man lost to the black man for the first time in American history. That's right.
Oh shit.
And the
That's funny,
white man played the long game, right? You ever think about the rhetoric of like super ridiculous pro-black people? Because they're trying to paint white people as the most malicious people who get over on anyone and everyone, right? Exactly. But they're also saying that they keep falling for it. Like black people are just too stupid to catch up. Like they're actually insulting themselves at the same time.
No, it's like, and that's just a loser mentality. I mean, you see that across races. White people are like that too. Like they'll blame black people or something, or they'll blame minorities, or they'll blame. And it's like, there's some things to blame on like Democrats and stuff like that for sure. But it's like that's just a loser mentality to blame everything on the world, right? Certain things you complain about, certain things you can be like, we should change this, but it's like you got to just get up and keep on going, man. Like it's sad, and I know people like that. It's like they just have a very negative outlook on life. But yeah, I don't know, man. What The View, man? I'll say this, man. Tim Dillon has a great quote about The View. I don't know if you guys remember it, but he said there are so many brilliant women in the world, none of them are on The View.
Exactly. And here's what's absolutely insane to me. I don't know if anybody realized, but Alyssa or Allison, I forget her like how to pronounce her first name.
I think it's Alyssa Farah.
Alyssa Farah Gray is of Persian descent.
Oh wow. That girl she was arguing with is a Persian?
This bitch was trying to Iran-splain.
No.
Whoopi was trying to Iran-splain.
What a dummy.
To a woman of Persian descent.
Yeah. And she's used to doing that with white girls who would just white liberal women who would just accept and oh yes, sis, you're right, my oracle. And she's like, now she's dealing with a woman who's really probably experienced some real oppression, or her relatives have, and obviously her country men and women do. And she's like, that's one of the reasons why you saw Whoopi get emotional there, and kind of she know what to say because she knew. She's like, oh shit, but she wasn't gonna admit that on camera. But she knew. She's like, oh shit, yeah, I can't just guilt this woman. Like she's actually experienced some things or knows some things. This is a different type of person here.
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
So go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, did you want to pull up the article?
Yeah, we could pull it up. We could pull up the article. About time. We
just went a whole hour.
We just been shooting on them because I mean it's deserved. It's deserved. But yeah, so at long last, we finally get to our brother's Adam's piece where he says wealthy Whoopi Goldberg fails to see the irony of her oppression narrative, or that the U.S. is nothing like Iran. The big piece, the part of the piece that I liked was let me see. Wait a minute. Here we go. One of the many problems with weaving, I'm quoting here, one of the many problems with weaving a victim narrative is that it transports you into an ideological oblivion, making you nearly incapable of recognizing how self-unaware you sound to normal people. Watching millionaires on The View trash a nation that has given them lives of abundance is absolutely nauseating to witness, and to the average American comes off as incredibly ungrateful. Like Goldberg, many wealthy Black people, lacking any ongoing sense of personal struggle, feel guilty for their success. Yet they believe being Black in America is synonymous with strife, and through race association, they can live the poor Black experience vicariously, safe inside their gated communities. Houses.
Sorry.
What was that brilliant from you? Common sense. Tell us what was going through your mind as you were writing that.
Well, my specialty is shitting. Yeah, my specialty is shitting on leftists and terrible leftist ideas, and especially the wealthy ones, because they seem to be the most disconnected people that you could ever come across. And I've said this before. Like you guys know my background. My background's in IT. My ambition was never to do the things that I'm doing today. But when I got opportunities to write or to go on television and stuff like that, part of the reason why is I realized that the people, and regardless of race, the people who represent us in the media are like Whoopi. They're the Ivy League grad kids, or they're the wealthy kids. They're the career millionaires in media who live in this bubble and speak about Americans in a way that I've never heard Americans speak. Like it's so ideologically driven and disconnected from how most normal Americans are. It's not to say that there aren't racists who exist out there, or there aren't bad people out there, but the vast majority of people I've come across are fine, right? I wouldn't even say tolerant. They just don't even think about these things. And so when they're like, when they're so determined to be like white people, period, are black people, period. Like these blanket statements to everything. And everyone just snaps their fingers. Yes, of course. Yes, that's right. That's how they, and when you hear these people who try to educate us and dissect,
it's
and
not,
I'm just like,
yes.
yeah.
It's
like,
yes.
Nah.
Or those
like,
Kaepernick
all that
types.
bullshit. Right. Right. Where they
When he's
think
doing that
that
whole like, and people in NFL are slaves and stuff. Remember that little thing that was going around the web?
Yet he was dying to be a slave again.
It was Malcolm X
with a new slave contract.
Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah,
right.
Crazy.
So that was my Whoopi is another example of the type of person who is in media, who is, and listen, this is not to say all rich people are like this, because I'm not going to pull what they do. I've met wealthy people who are cool as shit, down to earth, especially the ones who like really earn their money. Like very nice people. You could talk to them and they'll tell you anything you want about business, right? You can be wealthy and down to earth, but there are certain people who become wealthy or become high status who think they're better than you.
Exactly.
And that is Whoopi, right? That is the type of person who exists in media, and that's the type of person who typically thrives in media. So when I get an opportunity to shit on this type of person that's in media, I write very quickly. So I think I wrote that article in like an hour and a half. Like anytime I talk about wealthy leftists, like I'm just like, yes, I'm all over it.
And imagine being in Hollywood for as long as she's been, like what that does to your brain.
You think about this. She's been wealthy and famous just about as long as I've been alive.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, me too.
All of us.
We're all basically the same age. Yeah, I remember her like since Ghost. That's the first time I probably remember her. But I think she wasn't in. No, she wasn't in.
Jack Flag.
Roots. She was in Roots. That was Oprah, right?
Purple.
No, she was in Roots. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she was in Roots. Was she in Roots or was
I'm sorry, not Roots. No, Color Purple. I'm sorry. You're right.
Was Whoopi in Color Purple? Or was that Oprah? I'm
both. They were both in Color Purple.
They're both. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, that was what 70s or early 80s. What was that?
No, I think that was early 90s.
Let me look up Color Purple.
No,
was it really 90s? Maybe you're right.
It was either late 80s or early 90s.
85.
85? Oh,
okay. Yeah.
Damn, Color Purple's 85.
Yeah, man.
Damn.
Yeah, she's in there.
We all.
Oh, is ugly.
We're old, yeah. Is that Chris Rock?
Adam, before we let you go, and I really don't want to let you go because we love having you on the show, and I think our next guest would love to talk to you as well. What are you working on? You got anything you wanna promote before we? Anything you want to talk about? Anything you
absolutely got? Nothing.
Nothing.
I got nothing. No, just joking. I got my Substack, AdamBColeman.substack.com. Obviously, got the book, The Children We Left Behind. You can get it anywhere. One day soon, it will be on fucking Audible, but it is everywhere else.
I think it's on Spotify, right?
Yeah, it's on Spotify.
Yeah,
it's literally on every other platform except Audible.
Yeah, it's on my list.
Hold on. Before we go, before I let you go, Lisa 0818 said Whoopi spent her money on.
I mean, who hasn't?
There you go, Lisa.
Yes, Lisa, you know what? That was the comment of the night. That was the comment of the night. Adam, I love you, brother. Thank you for coming by. You're more than welcome anytime. You are an apostate as far as we are concerned.
That's right, brother.
But
always a pleasure, Adam.
Yeah, man, it's always a pleasure to have you on board, brother. Thanks for stopping in.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, brother.
Peace. Oh man, it is so
a little too much fun, man. We even get to talk about.
I know
we got to talk about Iran soon, man. It's like I think we got to jump into that and then jump into the mayor race.
We do.
Or do you think, or should we do mayor race first?
Well, we're gonna talk about that right now with these two gentlemen coming to the stage. I want to introduce returning to Apostate Radio is of course our great friend, probably the best enemy, the worst enemy of congestion pricing activists. Pain in the ass to Ben Furness of Transportation Alternatives. my dog and the dogs of New York City, Mr. Charlie Panoff.
Bulldog.
How you guys doing?
We
Hey,
good?
Charlie, how you doing, brother?
Welcome.
Great. I just want to say, after listening to that for a minute, as someone who identifies as Black from being transracial,
Oh, you too?
yes, I am also transracial.
That's great, man.
What
are the odds?
Yeah, I'm transageal as well. I'm actually an 82-year-old Black man.
Oh,
my God.
So you've experienced some shit.
I definitely have experienced a lot of shit in my day.
Were you getting bitten by the dogs and shit, or what? Like in the old footage?
Oh, my dogs hate me because they're racist. But you know, what's going on in Iran definitely has nothing to do with being Black in America. I can say that as both transracial and as a, you know, non-certifiably insane human being who's white, that the two are very different. And that was the dumbest thing I think I've ever seen on The View. Yeah. And that's saying a lot. That is a stretch to be able to say something is dumber than anything else on The View.
And again, to say it to someone of Persian ethnicity.
Yeah.
You are black-splaining Iran, Iran-splaining to like that. Like they used to get on black. They used to get on men all the time about that. The mansplaining. This bitch mansplained it to her.
Yep.
We'll bring up. We're going to bring up our special guest, someone who is new to the show. This man is the vice president of the Manhattan GOP. We've been wanting to talk to this.
I didn't know there was one, man. What's going on?
Right.
I'm just kidding, brother.
Coming to the stage now, VP of the Manhattan Republican Party, Mr. Pete Holmberg.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, Pete.
We are good, man. Great to see you. Thanks for coming by. Since you are new to the show, and we already put Charlie through this.
Yes.
Please, sir, tell if you would introduce yourself to our audience. Let them know who you are, what you're about, and that type of thing. What brings you by?
Okay, well, and first and foremost, I'm the best friend of Charlie Panoff, which is my greatest credential.
There we go.
Charlie for 17 years. And Charlie says, "Do something, I do it." So that's the first thing you need to know about me is I love Charlie, and I will defend him no matter what. There's a lot of work in defending Charlie. Basically, the basic stats are I'm like a 59-year-old gay guy who's lived in New York for 33 years. I was a Republican kind of actively in my youth. And when I moved to New York in 92, I wanted, like a lot of people here who are registered as Democrats, I registered as a Democrat because I wanted to be voting in the mayoral primary and in relevant primaries. So I remained, and also then the whole gay marriage thing that seemed very like when I was growing up, gay marriage seemed like UFO landings. It was like, oh, come on, it's never going to happen. And then it became kind of a viable thing. And the Republicans for a while were very against it. So even though I was secretly voting Republican, I didn't want to be one. 2015, it all changed. As far as I was concerned, it's like, okay, great. The gay movement we've won. We have a great victory. Let's move forward as united people. In 2017, I registered as a Republican. In 2018, I was recruited by the Manhattan GOP to run for state senate. They knew I was going to lose, and we pretty much know a lot of these races are going to lose. But in order to sort of keep the party going, to be stewards of the cause, to keep the governor's race from dipping too low in the city, we need to put candidates up. We need to put, frankly, sacrificial lambs up. And I was a sacrificial lamb in 2018. Got very involved in the party, got very involved with the minority of registered Republicans here in Manhattan. I'm one of many, not many, but like there's like 6 or 7 of us vice presidents of the Manhattan GOP. And we're really kind of holding the fort until the tide turns. And what's interesting now is there's a lot of stuff happening. Iran last night, and we can get to that. The tide is turning. And so as you know, I'm often touted out because there's an article in the New York Times today that I'm quoted talking about gay Republicans and gay Trump supporters, and I'm definitely a Trump supporter without question.
All right. All right.
And, very much. There's nothing ambiguous like, well, I'm a Republican, but I don't like. No. Fully on Donald Trump. I joked. Donald Trump would joke that he could shoot people on Fifth Avenue and still win. I said the only way I wouldn't vote for him is if he shot me on Fifth Avenue and I died. But otherwise, I'd vote.
Good.
Even if he shot me and I lived, I'd vote for him. So I was very much in Trump's corner for November. And we're here, and things are changing in New York. And, Charlie and I have had private conversations for 17 years, many of which I was a registered Democrat, and he can tell you about making fun of me then, and I will own that. And but things are changing, and I think common sense is starting to come through. So, and I'm happy to be here and talk about that with you.
Thank you, man. Really appreciate you stopping by, and I'm sure our audience appreciates that as well. I guess we can open up with Iran. Massive things that were taking place. Last night we had what was it? Operation Midnight Hammer. Three of Iran's nuclear development sites were basically wiped off the map. We had two B-2 bombers. Two B-2 bombers took off. Well, there was more than two, just the B-2s, but you had a 36-hour round trip flight from Missouri. They went over, dropped off the bombs, came back. One of the most incredible missions I have ever heard of. Partially because I can't imagine being up in the air for 36 hours. It's incredible the amount of dedication that took. I see it. A lot of people that I've spoken to are not happy about it. Like they're kind of like, well, this was they're thrusting us into another war. Some people have just taken the complete panic route of, oh my God, we're in World War III. I tend to think that this was something that is America first. But I want to hear it from your mouth, Pete. How is this America first, and how is this going to help Americans here at home?
Well, I think we, as the oldest person on this call, I'm 59. I lived through, not personally, but the Iran crisis, hostile crisis. Iran hates us. Death to America. It's a core tenet there. They hate us. And as a country that really, honestly, it was America first in that we would be in danger. And this was the kind of defensive move and that could not have been made, I think, without the military really coming together. I think the past couple of months, morale has in the military increased exponentially with Secretary Hegseth.
Shout out to Hegseth.
Yeah. Yeah. I do not believe this could have been done otherwise. I think morale plays a huge role in whether these things succeed. We tried to get the hostages out of Iran in 1979. Jimmy Carter's administration instigated a failed mission. He would have won the presidency in 1980 if he hadn't been succeeded. Carter deflated the troops in a lot of ways. I think Democratic presidents overall, in a lot of ways, throughout the past few decades, have deflated troops. And we have a commander-in-chief now who is pure on the military. And I think everything Secretary Hegseth has done has helped with that morale. No one's really saying this right now, but there's a reason. There's always a fine line between success and failure on these things. And morale does play a role. And also bravery. And I don't think Kamala Harris would have had. She's noted for indecision. Her campaign was riddled with indecision. I don't think a decision would have been made this quickly and concisely and successfully with her. And bottom line, without what happened last night, we would be in danger. And it's America because America's in less danger. That's what I think.
Yeah, but if Kamala was president, though, we'd have a lot of drag queen story hours with the troops. We probably have our 14 trans women of color, lesbian, Muslims as our generals. Like, I mean, so we're missing out on a lot.
That's the morale. That, you know what? That I'll just dive right in. That was a huge morale killer. Having to deal with transgenderism in the armed forces
Everywhere that is spread is a morale killer. My brother.
I mean, I think that it is absolutely the wrong place. Transgender people cannot be deployed. You cannot have people in the military who can never be deployed. When you're in the military, you sign up to possibly get killed. That is the uniting factor of all of them.
Exactly.
When you're transgender, you opt out of that. You just get all the benefits. You get the health benefits. It's cheating, basically.
Wait, what do you mean? So if you come in as a transgender person, you don't get to see active duty. You don't get to see action.
The reason because to maintain, this is why I very much believe that gay and transgender are very separate. And the reason
they are
no one, believe me, nothing makes me gay. I mean, ask Charlie, I'm very gay. But,
lots of things make you gay.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't need any medication to make me gay.
No.
Yeah, thank you, Charlie. And
the DVD collection did it for you.
What do you say?
The DVD collection did it for you.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some good stuff in there.
Transgender, someone who is medically transitioned needs medication to stay, to maintain that. And you don't have people with foot problems. I have an artificial hip. I couldn't be in the Army. I'm too old, but they're disqualifiers.
Yeah.
So you can't join the Army if you got a big old club-shaped, burrito-shaped fake penis. That's probably gonna.
Well, you can't now because to maintain, it's not so much the fake penis; it's the medication that you have to be on. That if you're in active duty, if you're deployed, if you're out in war, no. So I mean, there are basic realities of being on. I didn't know this. There's a lot of chronic medical conditions that qualify people, and they've overlooked that for all the kind of what is essentially experimental medicalization of human beings. We haven't had clinical trials on this. We don't know what
Mia was just on telling us this.
Yeah, we don't really know. And I live in New York. I have many transgender friends who've been through the surgery. I know the realities of what it means to go through that versus what the media puts out there. To reroute a urinary tract for a vaginoplasty is massive. You end up literally urinating through a wound. It is extremely painful. It is extremely messy. We do not hear about it because the pharmaceutical companies, they get if a 9-year-old declares, I'm the other gender, they go on puberty blockers, and that 9-year-old is a medical patient getting prescribed medication for life. That's for life. Because they go on then puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones for life. And so that's a huge moneymaker. And I've done public relations in the pharmaceutical industry, and they love repeat customers. That's an entire industry based on we think of it as prescriptions. They're really thinking of it as subscriptions. They're just getting people to pay monthly forever. And transgenderism somehow got looped into that. And that's got to stop.
I mean, the fact that they push that on children and minors is positively satanic.
It's satanic, and it's hurting people. It's hurting the gay movement. I mean, I was an ACT UP in the 80s. I know what it's like to lay in a street screaming about something. I've done that. I did that in the 80s for the gay movement. So I did not do that. So that's the pharmaceutical industry and a bunch of, frankly, messed up non-gay people could join the queer community and co-opt children, because the gay community is not gay men who just want to get laid and live their lives anymore. That's what I was. That's what I am. It's a bunch of, it's a magnet for neurodivergent, mentally ill, narcissistic personality disorder people. They're coming in droves and getting leadership positions, because in 2015, people like me who gave to Human Rights Campaign monthly, I gave $40 a month until 2015. Gay marriage became legal. Fantastic. Game over. I stopped giving $40 a month. And then 6 months later, suddenly trans is the issue. And Caitlyn Jenner was on the cover of Vanity Fair. And Caitlyn Jenner, who I've met and have dinner with, is horrified more than anyone about this stuff because it's news. So I definitely defend the right of any adult to do whatever they want with their own body. I mean, there's some really horrific plastic surgery out there. No one's saying anything. But once you involve children, and by the way, got gay marriage passed because we said we're not involving children. The whole gay movement was saying we're staying away from the kids, we're staying away from the kids, we're staying away from the kids. Gay marriage is legal for 10 years, and suddenly there's all these books, In My Daddy's Belly, all these things that's indoctrinated. And the reality is teachers, most of them are a lot of teachers, I've had some great teachers, some of them were messed up. A lot of teachers are just pot-smoking losers who didn't want to have to deal with the corporate rat race and wanted security, and they wanted summers off, but then discovered they had to start work August 1st and were pissed about it. Teachers are not saints. Teachers are human beings, and a lot of them are pretty lazy, worthless people.
Underachievers and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, because it's much easier to indoctrinate. Like if I had to go into a classroom and teach people punctuation and math, that's a lot of work. I don't know half that stuff. You have to come up with lessons. My sister was a teacher, and she had to do these lesson plans. My sister was a great teacher. I'll mention her by name because she died 6 years ago. Judy Holmberg Hershenhorn, fantastic teacher, and she really worked. She's like, I have to get my lesson plans for this week.
Hold on, repeat. My fiance is a teacher, like right now.
Is she?
Yeah, works in the South Bronx. She teaches 3K in the South Bronx. Fantastic teacher, loved by her kids and loved by her students. I'm sorry, loved by her coworkers. I mean, great teachers. I do have to defend teachers a bit because the vast majority of them are very hard workers, and they put up with a lot of shit.
Sure, 100%. Yeah,
they do. But there are people, yeah.
But the ones that you're talking about,
Pete's right. There's people like that as well.
Ones who come in with the purple hair and hang progress flags everywhere, and
communist flags.
Right, exactly. Got hammers and sickles, and the ones with the septum rings in the fucking nose. You're absolutely you're 100%.
They're becoming the face of teaching. They're on social media. Frankly, it's easier to opine. Like if I had to walk into a room and teach class, it'd be a ton of work. If you said to me, Pete, just go into this classroom and talk about Republican politics for 6 hours. Man, I love to hear myself talk. I know the stuff up and down. I could do that. I wouldn't have to prepare. That would be easy for me. So I think laziness and narcissism play a role because the really good teachers like your fiance and my sister, they weren't on social media. They weren't talking to the public about what they did in the classroom. There was no public disclosure. They weren't on a public stage. They were there for the kids. And now we have these teachers doing this, and the teachers' unions do not intercede. The teachers' unions allow this to happen.
Yep, they're right on board with it. Let's get back to Iran, though. I do have something that I've got a presentation from the general. The general Raising, I think it was Raising Cain, I believe. I forget his name off the top of my head. His name escapes me, but he did a pretty extensive description of what went on over there. Charlie, when we get on the Charlie, I'll get your thoughts on it on the other side, and then Pete. So let's.
The bombers launched from the continental United States. As part of a plan to maintain tactical surprise, part of the package proceeded to the west and into the Pacific as a decoy, a deception effort known only to an extremely small number of planners and key leaders here in Washington and in Tampa. The main strike package, comprised of 7 B-2 Spirit bombers, each with 2 crew members, proceeded quietly to the east with minimal communications. Throughout the 18-hour flight into the target area, the aircraft completed multiple in-flight refuelings. Once over land, the B-2s linked up with escort and support aircraft in a complex, tightly timed maneuver requiring exact synchronization across multiple platforms in a narrow piece of airspace, all done with minimal communications. This type of integration is exactly what our joint force does better than anyone else in the world. At approximately 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time last night, and just prior to the strike package entering Iran, a U.S. submarine in the Central Command Area of Responsibility launched more than 24 Tomahawk land attack cruise missiles against key surface infrastructure targets at Esfahan. As the Operation Midnight Hammer strike package entered Iranian airspace, the U.S. employed several deception tactics, including decoys, as the 4th and 5th generation aircraft pushed out in front of the strike package at high altitude and high speed, sweeping in front of the package for enemy fighters and surface-to-air missile threats. The strike package was supported by U.S. Strategic Command, U.S. Transportation Command, U.S. Cyber Command, U.S. Space Command, U.S. Space Force, and U.S. European Command. As the strike package approached Fordow and Natanz, the U.S. protection package employed high-speed suppression weapons to ensure safe passage of the strike package, with fighter assets employing preemptive suppressing fires against any potential Iranian surface-to-air threats. We are currently unaware of any shots fired at the U.S. strike package on the way in. At approximately 6:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2:10 a.m. Iran time, the lead B-2 dropped 2 GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator weapons on the first of several aim points at Fordow. As the president stated last night, the remaining bombers then hit their targets as well, with a total of 14 MOPs dropped against 2 nuclear target areas. All 3 Iranian nuclear infrastructure targets were struck between 6:40 p.m. and 7:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that's about 2:10 in the morning local time in Iran, with the Tomahawk missiles being the last to strike at Esfahan to ensure we retain the element of surprise throughout the operation.
Incredible. Absolutely flawless.
Yeah.
I have never in my life. Well, we're young compared to
Pete.
I was trying to be nice.
He's the one who said it.
I have never in my life heard of an operation where we go in, wreck it, and come back without a shot fired from the enemy. A single shot from the enemy. Huh?
There was one other.
There was one other.
Tom Cruise and Maverick, Top Gun Maverick.
There were 2 others. Yeah. Well, technically the Bin Laden raid. I mean, there were no shots fired at us except in the house. So it's at that level. However, it's on a much larger scale. The secrecy of it is similar level. Just this had a much larger target and made a lot bigger of a boom at the end of the day. But to tie it into what we were talking about before, that 36, 38-hour flight, whatever it is, I've seen a couple different numbers. There are 2 people in those planes, all right?
In each plane?
In each plane, in those B-2s. They only hold 2 people. They have microwaves, they have a refrigerator, they have a toilet, and they take turns sleeping and flying so they can do it. Could you imagine, first off, I have trouble sitting in a car with certain people for 2 hours. Could you imagine getting into a plane in such tight quarters on a mission that you may not make it back in hopes of preventing a war, which is what hopefully this has done, and the guy next to you or the person next to you didn't take their hormones that morning?
Oh.
Now, I have a friend. It sounds like I'm being, joking about this, but I'm not.
That's a legitimate concern.
I have a friend, a very good friend of mine who recently joined the Navy in the JAG program. He's a lawyer. He is never going to see combat unless something really crazy happens. I mean, to be in the JAG program, you don't even go through basic training. He's still afraid of holding a gun, I think. But he almost didn't get in because of an antidepressant he's on.
Oh.
So if they're scrutinizing things like that, which they should be, okay, I'm not saying that medications don't have side effects and people shouldn't have certain jobs if they have certain issues. But if they're scrutinizing a lawyer to that level, but they're turning their head on somebody who is on lifelong hormone-changing drugs, something's messed up. And that's all about virtue signaling and appeasing certain people, whether it's the pharmaceutical company, the extreme radical left protesters, whoever's yelling in the street about this cause or that cause this week. But somebody was being appeased by that, because at the same time they were letting people in who are quote unquote transgender, they were also turning people away who had flat feet.
Yeah.
It's bizarre, man. All that's bizarre. Like focusing on that when things are life and death in these situations, like you said, and it's like, you know, how is that even like a consideration? What people's races are or their genders are? Or it's like,
well, you can ask the New York Times, because when Secretary Hegseth this morning said that our boys made it home safely, something along those lines, I'm paraphrasing, their article wasn't about the mission. Their article was about the fact that women too can fly these planes.
oh my God, how childish. How fucking childish. We have to mention every single race, every single gender, every single sexual preference every time any mission happens.
And this is the thing that
fuck
ties
up.
in Iran to the mayoral race in New York.
Retarded.
Just before I came on here, I was killing time looking at stuff online, and I guess there's a Working Families Party rally tonight in Brooklyn for their group of clowns. And Zellnor, Zellnor, whatever his name is, I don't know.
Meyer,
Yeah, he put out a statement, and Mamdani was outside talking with protesters that they don't want to go into the theater where it's being held because potentially this theater was subject to deed theft, which, as a real estate broker, I can tell you is virtually impossible since probably the 40s. Like that. So if this happened, it was almost, 75 years ago, 80 years ago. But the headline from New York One was that it was deed theft, and Zellner's comment was that he cannot attend any event. His comment was not in English because of switching tenses and he needs to learn grammar, but essentially he can't attend an event in a place where it was stolen in a way that hurt the original black owners.
Oh,
now
what?
Does that matter? Theft is theft. Fraud is fraud. Stealing is stealing, whether I'm stealing from somebody who's white, black, green, whether they're male, female, or they decided to be other this week, it's still theft. Why does that make the headline? Because now racism is involved. I got called a bigot the other day by somebody. I don't even remember what I said. Something about somebody who was promoting Mamdani. And I said, they were saying not to vote for someone else. They said, I'm sorry. It was about Shanna Hanif, that one. I mentioned the fact that she wrote essays about running around Prospect Park naked. That made me a bigot. Well, she wrote the essays, and I don't even know where she's from. I think she might be, is she from Bangladesh, her family? I don't know. But what does that have to do with her race? She wrote an essay about running around the park naked. It's fact.
The thing is, it goes back to what we were talking about with Adam Coleman earlier, which is the way in which Democrats and now this socialist faction that has pretty much subsumed the party, they consider anyone who's white, anyone who's male, anyone who is not, anyone who could be described as a normal heterosexual or homosexual male, okay, anybody who is not part of the revolution, okay, is evil. And so by default, if you have melanated skin that automatically makes you what? An oracle. It makes you someone like more specifically in tune with oppression and all sorts of things because of your quote unquote lived experience. So when Shahana could make, she could write those stories about, frolicking naked in Prospect Park. We're supposed to be okay with that and just accept it because this is her quote unquote lived experience. And
it gives them moral authority too, Isaiah. That's and their intersectional moral lens, which is like the whole woke thing. Really, it's like, you're telling the truth about something. Well, wait a second. Who are you? Oh, you're a white male, a straight white male, a privileged white male, whatever. I'm a woman of color. So you really don't have any right to be criticizing me whatsoever, which is of course absolutely fucking crazy. And I would also like to use the word retarded.
Yeah, so, use the R word on the show.
Retarded.
Pete, what's your thoughts on this, man?
Well, I don't use the R word because my best friend takes a great umbrage to it, so I don't use that word, and that's something but I don't judge other people. I will just say that
I have a Down syndrome cousin, and so
no, it's my dad.
I get an R pass.
Okay. Here's what I think there's a business angle. I worked in PR for years, and I started in PR in 1994 when we had major legacy companies, Time Life, major newspapers with different, complex business sections. You could say to someone, who's covering advertising at the Cleveland Plain Dealer? And there'd be a reporter whose job was to write about that. It was immense. The Public Relations Society of America used to track viable reporters, and their database in 1994 was over 500,000. Today, it's around 40,000. What we used to have was really a pinnacle, and it was where everyone was going, and everyone was pointing in that direction. And we watched TV as a monolith. Friends, people would watch Friends at the same time at 8 p.m. on Friday. Large
Thursdays, Pete. Friends was on Thursdays.
Yeah. Oh. But so we had large segments. What I see today is the last real monolith of people doing the same thing and watching the same things are kind of the elite white woke people. And they're driven by guilt. Most of them came from I have friends on Facebook who I was in high school with who I remember making fun of. I was out in high school. I was openly gay in high school. I remember people who made fun of gay people in high school are now suddenly super woke. And I don't bring it up to them. I don't really care. I barely know them. But I think a lot of people carry a ton of guilt over being anti-gay and homophobic. A lot of guys who are suddenly super woke now. I have family members who used to make AIDS jokes in the 80s. And then they suddenly get in with elite Democrats, and suddenly they're all woke and going to trans weddings. Literally, it's suddenly it's become the social thing. A lot of people are not really driven by integrity and conviction. I think it's more insecurity and what's the word? I'm losing the word. When you co-opt something, or when you insecurity and conformity. Yeah. And so I think that with the media, when New York won, who's watching New York won? Who's gonna?
Somebody who wants to know what temperature it is.
Yeah, well, that's us, Charlie. When we're normal, well, actually, we just look at our phones. But what it is older people. It's who's going to watch. They need to get people watching consistently. And the one thing that kind of hooks people in is an emotional way. And this is why The View continues to exist, because that rage bait, that kind of female rage, that kind of I'll tell you something.
Fear mongering.
Men, when you're a gay man, and you tell us a wimpy straight man that you voted for Trump. The level of contempt they have for you as a gay man, no, you're a fag.
You're a traitor.
Vote for they feel like if they had their balls cut off, you have to have your balls cut off too. And you're like, no, I don't have to be a pussy. I don't have to, And so that's really that to me is like, well, a lot of the woke stuff is just it's an emotional hook that hooks in a large segment of people, and it's hard to get large segments of people to get ratings, to sell advertising. I think a lot of this stuff is about selling household products. The View exists to sell household products. It's no different than the soap operas were in the 70s. A certain kind of woman who has disposable income is watching The View. And that is why that show exists, because those viewers are buying stuff massively, and they're susceptible. And the woke left are more susceptible to claims, and therefore they're more susceptible to advertising. And that's why so much of the media caters to them, because advertisers need them to buy their stuff.
It's so disturbing to me because, well, actually, I wanted to ask you this question: when you get called a fag and all this other kind of stuff by pro-Democrat people who voted for, I guess that would be very similar to when pro-Democrat black people would call guys like us Uncle Tom, when they would call us coons or something like that. Is that like, do you get kind of that same feeling like you're
absolutely you're
a traitor to your tribe or whatever? Like,
well,
like, what is that for you? Because I'm asking very seriously. Like, what is that like for you as a gay man, as a gay Republican?
What it says, it's the most insulting. First of all, they don't actually call me a fag. That would be less offensive than, well, as a gay man, how can you do this?
Or you should know better.
Yeah.
Why that I don't have agency, or that I don't have a choice. And really, a lot of this stuff, people say, well, let's just say, okay, let's take your argument, give you your argument, give you a full win on your argument, and roll the tape forward. Let's say there were no Republicans, no gays, zero gays in the Republican Party. What does that look like? How does that play out? That means gays in the Democratic Party are completely taken for granted because they have no walkability. They can just roll over them. They don't have to worry about their issues. We're not present. I mean, it's not a victory you even want. People hate the idea. A lot of like super leftists hate the idea of a Republican.
Who's snoring back there? You hear that snoring, Isaiah?
I'll give you one guess.
Is it your four-legged buddy with the crushed nose?
I'm down in South Carolina. I only have one bulldog with me, and she's the loud one. The puppy snores. She's at my feet right now snoring, so I apologize.
Yo, wow. Go ahead, Pete. I'm sorry.
It's really, I find it incredibly insulting, and I'm learning. Truthfully, I used to get really, my dander up, and I did horrible fights on Facebook. I've gotten better about it because I look at the people and I just see so much. Oh, hello.
Look at that. Girl, right? Girl.
Yeah.
Is that Aster?
That's Aster.
Hello, Aster. Aster's the youngest of the bulldogs. I met Aster, and Aster was like this.
What a pretty girl.
Aster was coming home in a little bag. She was so cute. You know what? It's just really insulting, and it makes me really, honestly, just want to get out there more. I'm very open about it. When Trump had that Alvin Bragg, sham trial, he was convicted. I immediately went to Instagram, Facebook, still voting for Trump. It's made me very defiant. I was at the Trump rally in Madison Square Garden. I posted a picture from there. It's insulting as hell, and it's made me more defiant, I guess is my ultimate answer for that. But,
wow.
And I find a lot of camaraderie with people who are black on that one, because I know you get the exact same thing.
I will say this because I've been wanting to talk about this for a minute. This was the first time voting for Trump. I voted for Trump in last year. Up until that point, here is my voting record. Okay, from the year 2000, from when I was raised conservative. Okay, I was raised in a conservative family. I voted for George W. Bush in 2000, 2004. Those were my very first votes for president. 2008, I voted for Barack Obama. Voted for Obama again in 2012 because I was a more faithful Democrat. I started in, I changed over my I changed over my registration from Republican and Democrat and never looked back. So I vote. So again, Obama 2008, Obama 2012, Hillary 2016. Okay. TDS set in. I had TDS all throughout Bush 45. I'm sorry, Trump 45. And I voted for, regrettably, the worst vote I've ever made was for Joe Biden in 2020. So I was a faithful Democrat from 2008 up until 2024. The second I went against, when I started going against the Democrat Party in 2022, when the Biden administration fucked up the Afghanistan withdrawal, all of that got negated. All of it got negated. That was ironically the first time I went viral because I had read George Packer's piece in the Atlantic about how Abbey Gate was basically his Saigon, was Biden's Saigon. And so that was when I had my very first public break with the Democrats. I didn't even have a break from the Democrats when my account got snatched in June of 2021 because I refused to call a man a woman. And that was when I first learned that it was worse to be racist. It was worse to be transphobic, whatever the hell that means, than it was to be racist. So then I went from criticizing the party and criticizing Biden, and things just got worse and worse and worse until I just decided, you know what, especially like once October 7th happened, and then with like all of the other things that I just noticed, I started noticing how Donald Trump had been made a truth teller. The exact opposite, like for me, the exact opposite had happened, right? Where when someone lies to you, you're in a relationship with somebody and someone lies to you, what's the first thing you start to wonder?
What else did they lie about?
There you go. What else have they been lying about? The exact opposite happened with Donald Trump when it came to Donald Trump. Democrats told me this man was a liar, and yet here he is. He's let's see, he was right about COVID. He was right about the cure being worse than the disease itself. And like every single thing after that, from the election to COVID to Fauci and all this other stuff, Trump just the Democrat Party just continued making a truth teller out of him. And so we fast forward now to 2025, where I voted for Trump. I'm very proud of my vote. I am not sorry. And it just seems like a lot of people want to make people feel bad for voting for him. I'm sorry. Even with this thing with Iran, I am not regretting my vote. But
yeah, that's a good segue.
But the one thing that I keep getting, I keep getting like on Facebook the same shit from people. It's like, well, how could you possibly have voted for him? And then when I talk about things, I'll give you a perfect example of something that happened last week. Was talking to, I had just said, this is what I said, Pete. July 4th, 1776. The real No King's Day in America. Anybody with a brain knew exactly what I was talking about. Anyone who knew American history that hadn't been poisoned by the 1619 Project knew exactly what I was talking about. Leave it to a couple of people that I know, a couple friends of mine. One I actually end up blocking because he got just fucking ridiculous. But they made it about Trump. And I'm like, why are you making the 4th of July about Trump? Because that was when the Army had their 250th birthday march. And they're making this about Trump. I'm like, no one made this about Trump. You're the ones who are making it about Trump. And it's like they wanted to get an angry response out of me just to say they did it.
I think that one thing, I think one thing that as I listen to this call and I listen to, here's the thing. Everyone on this call I know. I've listened to you all speak. I've been friends with Charlie for years. When Charlie was talking about what, like the reality of flying over and being in tight quarters, Charlie knows that because Charlie reads. Charlie is a voracious reader and researcher of a lot of different things. And my friends are, and everyone on this call is. That takes time, it takes effort, it takes intelligence, it takes work. Donald Trump is a celebrity. You can have an opinion on Donald Trump with 3 minutes knowledge. You don't have to do any work to have an opinion. You can suddenly express an emotion and suddenly you're in sync with a bunch of people. The anti-Trump bias is so unnuanced and
Pete,
not.
Let me interrupt you a second.
Yeah.
You don't have an opinion. You've adopted someone else's opinion.
You've adopted someone else, and you're in sync. And so you're part of it's about it's tribalism, not real opinion. And when you break things down, and the left is very good at coming up with stuff that sounds reasonable in the moment, but again, if you put their thesis into practice, give them their win, and roll the tape forward, it doesn't go anywhere. It's like, they're all
usually makes things worse.
Yeah, it's like
insane.
Yeah, I mean, and they exist, and also the left really needs the Republic. I mean, actually, both sides kind of need this. There's a political theater where both sides are dependent on one another. Democrats are always going to be fighting for more food stamps and more stuff like that. They have to. They're never going to say enough, and they don't have to because they know Republicans will come in and stop them. It's like a child knowing they'll eventually get put to bed. They don't have to stay up till 5 a.m. Someone will put them to bed at 8:30 or 9. They're not going to have to worry.
Clean up their mess too.
Yeah. So I mean, that's.
But it's also because it's marketing. They know that their base is in favor of it. I'm not saying their base is on food stamps, but their base is in favor of more social programs because of this twisted way of thinking. So even if they don't believe there should be more, they have to say there's more so they don't get rid of those people. And they know the other side will keep them in check because of the checks and balances aspect of it. However, and this I think is the biggest issue, especially with local politics, as we grow, we seem to be getting more and more entitled as a society. Because you've had less, strict parenting, you've had more participation trophies as kids. People are handed jobs right out of school that, here's $85,000 to sit at a desk and they just wait till 5 o'clock. I dropped out of school. I was 19. I had a boss that required me to be there 12 hours a day and I was working on commission. So I'm not making that sound like I used to walk uphill both ways to school in the rain every day. But the next generation, it's just getting worse because they're used to so much free shit. And that's why you have candidates, especially in local races like Mamdani, who come out and say, we're going to give you free stuff, even though he knows damn well he can't give you free stuff. He's actually in a better position now as a state assemblyman to make buses free because it's a state entity. Exactly. He's in a better position to free stabilized rent because it's a state-run program. And the mayor has no purview over either one. But
None.
Nobody knows that because they just heard, ooh, free, okay. And that's our problem because they think that it should be handed to them. And I'm not talking about the people who actually need it. There are people who need subsidies. There are people that need them for health reasons, for mental health reasons, because they are stuck in a rut, because they went broke because of a poor business decision. They need a little help to get out of that rut. And then they come off of those services. Most people are not proud of the fact that they have to ask for help. And for some people, it's very hard to do so. So we need these programs. Those programs for those people, they go bankrupt when you start giving them to everybody.
Exactly. And that's and we're seeing that. I mean, we're seeing that with other stuff throughout the city. It's like how much money has been put into Charlie's favorite thing, these bike lanes, while everything else gets thrown to the fucking wayside. everything else gets thrown to the wayside. And real quick, before we move on to New York City politics things, Marie Isabella said, now it's bedtime. LOL. Great show. Good night. Marie, thank you. We love you. We appreciate staying up with us. We greatly appreciate it. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Apostate Radio episode 20. This has been a fantastic show. This is I am, of course, Isaiah Carter. You've got Nostra Chavez from the land of Pete's, which is actually pretty good. I meant to actually say this before. I went up to Connecticut. I went up to CT to go see him last week. It's a fantastic time. Pete's is actually very good. Got Mr. Pete Holmberg, VP, one of several VPs of the Manhattan Republican Party, and of course our guy, the Manhattan building bulldog, Mr. Charlie Panoff, and little Astor is down there at with him. Appreciate you guys coming back on. Let's get into it. Let's get into this. We got an election Tuesday. I've already early voted. I am still registered as a Democrat, even though I despise this party. I think they're just a cadre of communists. So basically, I'm playing spoiler. I guess it's kind of how I view my role in all of this. We've got Zohran out here. Matter of fact, I just reposted something that Charlie had. Hold on, let me just look for it real quick. Charlie, you had posted something. I think you mentioned it earlier. Downgrade.
Yeah, well, you said the Z word. It makes her very upset.
I bet. Look, hey, girl, makes me upset too. Yeah, I found it. I found what I was looking for here. Here we
go. The theater. Yeah,
you're the one that you reposted. Here we go. Let me just pull this up. Charlie wrote this a little while ago, ladies and gentlemen. He says, let's say there was fraud and someone stole the deed, which I doubt. What does the prior owner's race have to do with anything? Theft is theft, fraud is fraud, stupidity is stupidity. And the context of this was Ayanna Harry Dudley says, now Zohran Mamdani speaking with protesters outside the Working Families Party, the Communist Party of New York City, rank the Slate rally. Demonstrators claim the venue, Crown Hill, was stolen through deed theft from a black owner. Let me see. And she also says Zellnor Myrie, another mayoral candidate, will no longer be speaking at the WFP mayoral candidate due to deed theft concerns. What? Okay. All right. Help me understand this, Charlie. What exactly is this foolishness?
So I looked it up. Because it is something that does happen sometimes. If you have somebody, especially in a vacant building, who claims they own it and they go into sale for it, they sell it to somebody who, they can forge documents and show that they own it, even though they don't own it, and they erroneously sell it to someone else. That person's now paid money for property that they now don't have an actual right to, but they think they do, and then a legal battle ensues. And a lot of times when that happens, the original owner, they have no idea what's going on. It's like somebody sells the Brooklyn Bridge, right? The city owns the bridge. I can sell you the bridge for $1 million right now, and I can give you a deed to the bridge. What are you going to do? Nothing. People are going to keep using the bridge. You just sold $1 million, spent $1 million to tell people you own the Brooklyn Bridge. Well, there was a bunch of townhouses in that neighborhood that this happened with back in, I believe, like around the late 20-teens, like 2017, 18, where they were basically vacant houses, and this guy went around selling them, and he didn't have the right to sell them. So there's a thought that this theater was part of that. There's no proof on either side. You're going to have to dig through Acris with the city records and go down to the city property clerk's office, because it's probably not in the computer yet, to figure out chain of custody of this actual theater and the land going all the way back to the 1800s. But the fact of the matter is, who's wasting their time on this? There's nobody there demonstrating that, saying, hey, this is my theater. Don't go in there. It's mine. These are people who are just looking to virtue signal. And, you know, it's the same people with the whole, you know, giving land back to the Native Americans thing. You know what? What happened to Native Americans in this country is awful. What didn't happen is we didn't steal Manhattan. We traded for it.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Did we do horrible things? Yes. Trading for Manhattan might have been a bad business deal on their part, but we didn't steal it. We traded for the island of Nantucket. I've seen the original deed with my own eyes.
Wow.
Yeah, it was something like 2 pieces of silver and a beaver pelt.
No.
There you go. Okay. See ya. We'll get on the boat now.
So,
found it on Craigslist.
Yeah, that's how I buy islands.
Oh my God.
That's where I send all my clients too.
I want to ask you 2 questions. I'm going to ask you, I asked these questions of our friend Jesse Arm of the Manhattan Institute. The first question, and this, you know, we can chime in as necessary. Just how dangerous is Zohran?
How do you want me to quantify that?
Well, I'll get. I want to hear from Pete first.
Okay.
I want to hear from Pete first on this. I'll get to you because I know you've got a heater, but I want to hear from Pete. What do you? Well, first that is how dangerous is this guy in your estimation?
In my opinion, I think there's right now in reality, not at all. He's not going to win. I don't think he's at all dangerous because I don't think he's going to win. Now,
wait. Why do you think that?
The reason I don't think he's going to win is from what I'm hearing. I believe really that one of 2 things will happen. Either Andrew Cuomo will win the Democratic primary on Tuesday, or even if he wins the Democratic primary, I do not believe, from what I've just talked to, I know a lot of the power brokers in this town are Democrat. A lot of the people who are actually very conservative are, like you, still registered as Democrats so they can vote in this. There are a lot of people, I was one of them for a long time, who like, yeah, I'm going to register as a Democrat so I can vote for mayor. There's a ton of those people. They're not counted. They don't show up in polls. There was a poll out recently that said he's very close. That poll negated Staten Island. And everyone's like, oh, there's no Democrats in Staten Island. That's not true. That Staten Island is half Democrat. Republicans, we like to think of it as our borough because we have parity there where we don't have it anywhere else. That's our mainstay. It's a power base for Republicans, but there are Democrats. And so there's a lot of kind of campaign propaganda polls that are out there. I don't think he's going to win on Tuesday. And if he does somehow eke out a victory with the ranked choice voting, I believe people will come around. I think actually it will lead to a huge groundswell of conservatism and common sense in this town. So I can't pretend to be scared of him. I just am not. That's my opinion.
So I don't think there's enough like gentrifying hipsters and young leftists and or Muslims in the city.
I just don't. First of all, there's
a Muslim, right?
I just don't think so. A lot of it also is there's a huge difference, and they've seen this in the polls. The reason Hillary lost is that a lot of people who polled on the Thursday before the election said, "Oh, I'm voting for her on Tuesday," and they meant it. They were telling the truth, but the level of passion wasn't quite there. And so on Tuesday, they're like, oh, I don't know where I'm going to park. It's a little late. I'll let the snooze. I will tell you, the New York Times is the people who would put him over the top are the people who would still take the New York Times very seriously. And the New York Times pretty much, I will tell you, I was concerned before the New York Times. I think those people, they're like, we're not going to, I think it's going to be a very low turnout. I think a lot of people who feel a little like they just don't vote. And we don't really account for that. Elections are not won based on someone changing their mind. They're won based on the level of enthusiasm, the desire to get out of bed and do the hassle of going to work early or coming home. And it's a hassle to vote. Maybe
leftists don't like doing things that are inconvenient and difficult.
Yeah. Turnout is everything. I know with the Manhattan GOP, when we have someone, we're looking for something, it's everything. Turnout is everything. So I'm not going to say that I'm scared of him. Now, if I were to suddenly be wrong and he wins on November 4th, he's the mayor, then I will tell you, if I'm wrong, I will be terrified, only because you're going to have to negotiate and come the halfway points and the negotiation points are going to be insane because he doesn't understand how things work. And essentially, he is one of many entitled children in this town who never really had to grow up. The parents like being friends with their kid. So in order to be friends with him, you got to support your kid. And telling someone to run for office, there are a lot of kids running, a lot of Democrats run for office so their parents can say what they're doing. Oh, he's running for city council. He's one of 17 people running in a primary. For some reason, Mamdani was able to break through and get an assembly, which is huge. It's an accomplishment to be in the New York Assembly. There's a lot he can do there. But he is part of a culture where people, and I mean his rich parents, define themselves by what their kid is doing. So that's what we have here. And this is not someone who's connected to reality. So we will have someone who's actually worse than Bill de Blasio.
Oof.
So if he wins, it's horrible. I just don't, there's no part of me that thinks he's going to win. But Charlie,
if he did, say he won the mayor race, like I think that's what Isaiah and I would definitely want you to outline if you can, and we might have Charlie help you out. Is like for example, like this government funded grocery stores or whatever. What is that? What would that look like realistically?
That would look like, okay, first of all, John Katzimatidis, CEO of Christie's, he pulls his governments out. Government can't do commerce; they don't understand. Then what it goes to great inflation. Kraft foods will suddenly, we're selling to the government, increase the prices. But that would be a mess. I will tell you right now, if he does win the primary on Tuesday, basically Cuomo is on the ballot as an independent candidate. Eric Adams is on the independent candidate. I think honestly, and here's what I would say. As a vice president of the Manhattan GOP, I would go to Curtis Sliwa is our candidate. I really do believe that if we are looking at a Zohran Mamdani as on the Democratic ticket in November, a lot of conversations would happen about endorsing Cuomo. And those conversations would take place within the Manhattan GOP, and they would happen with Curtis Sliwa. That would be an emergency situation. And we would not just sit back and think, I think a lot of people would say, you know what, let's get people to drop out and endorse Cuomo. That's what I think will happen if Mamdani wins on Tuesday.
So okay, so let me just
wait. So you think, Pete? All right. So you would say you would have Curtis if it was Mamdani's the Democrat guy, because you're going to have Mayor Adams is probably still going to run regardless, right? Against him.
I think
Cuomo would Cuomo too. Would Cuomo run as an independent or how?
It's already decided. The petition process has been completed, and people who have gotten places. In November, no matter what goes down, Zohran Mamdani will be on the working families ticket on November. Okay, he's on that. Eric Adams will have an independent candidacy. Andrew Cuomo has an independent line too. So no matter what.
But what about what about Curtis? Why do you think Curtis can't win against that? Like that's a divided Democrat. That would be a divided Democrat constituency or electorate or whatever. Like, right? If it's it's like 3 Democrats versus Curtis. Does that look like a pathway or no?
I think that would be. I think the best way really would be. I think we either get people around Curtis or we get people around Cuomo. We get people. Essentially, I don't think if the threat. I mean, the idea of him winning would be horrific. And I think we're all in agreement on I just don't think it's going to happen. But I think that when something like that happens, people kind of drop out. Deals are made, like concessions are made. We come together I think we would come together as a city in a lot of ways. If we were faced with that, I think the end result after all the dust is settled would be a positive one. I think I think Zohran Mamdani will go on and be an influencer. I think he'll write books. I think he'll be on MSNBC. He'll probably have a show on MSNBC before it becomes a purely internet thing. I mean, and he'll probably be in the last days of MSNBC, which is fading now. So, I mean, there's all these different things. I mean, I think in 10 years, Zohran Mamdani will literally be like hawking products. I think he's going to be someone who's like, selling a motivational seminar. I don't think he is not someone. I do not see him as a powerful person who has the power to hurt people.
He'll be the next Hassan Piker, I think. But my question, and there is something I do want to go over when it comes to him. My question is, why wouldn't there be a strong coalition behind Curtis Sliwa? We've, just for disclosure, we had Curtis on our show several weeks ago. We had him in studio with us, and he did, he was with us for like 3 hours. He would have did 4. That guy is a talker, and I love him. And yeah, he will show up, and that is something that I truly believe is missing out of all of this. You can, I'll tell you something that bothers me is the interchangeability of these Democrat candidates. If you like, it could be Cuomo, it could be Adrian Adams, it could be Zohran, it could be any one of these people. They all, for all intents and purposes, they all pretty much believe and do the same things. Maybe let Cuomo to a lesser extent, but the rest of these Democrats, the rest of these socialists are absolutely on that wave. Zellner Myrie is no different than Adrian Adams, is no different than Zohran. That's my point. My question is, what is it about Curtis that is driving party officials or like people at the top? What is it about him that's driving people away? Because I don't see much mainstream support for this guy.
I think that the one problem he has is he lost before. He ran 4 years ago, so it's a hard time to make, and we're not seeing the polling just isn't there. And polling does kind of make sense. It's not completely off. So people don't see him as viable. I know what it's like to be seen as a non-viable candidate. You're only going to get attention if you're speaking to a certain issue. So right now in this, it's a horse race. He doesn't have great odds. And
all right, hold on. So what makes him viable? What would change that?
Question. What makes him viable?
What would make him viable? Certainly, I think that his best, honestly, if Zohran comes out of the gate and wins on Tuesday, we have our talking points. We know what they are. Everyone's got to get their ducks in a row. I think that is a choice between Curtis Curtis has lived a real life.
Who's more New York than Curtis Sliwa?
Curtis
out of these candidates or in general?
I mean, just number one, Curtis supports himself. Curtis pays rent. Curtis, Zohran Mamdani has been carried his whole life. Curtis Sliwa was a human being who has earned his place and lived his life and been through things. And so if it becomes a Curtis versus Zohran Mamdani, that's a very, that changes Curtis's profile and we get a reset. I do not think the chances against Cuomo are great. Zohran Mamdani, that's a whole different story. But the reality is it's very tough in this city because another thing is people, our numbers as Republicans, because people don't register as Republicans, And I urge you all on this call to, if you live in New York, anyone watching this, if you really believe in conservative causes and you live in Manhattan, register as a Republican. Those numbers do reflect because the lack of registration gives people license to dismiss us. And the registration is bad. It's like we're down like 8-1. I mean, our registration numbers are not great. And so that makes you it makes you an extreme minority party when you're the Republican nominee for something. It's like, oh, great, you're like 17%.
Nobody wants to put money into something that's clearly, obviously going to lose.
That's really what it is. So it's
8-1.
Yeah, it is, and so it's an awkward. You hear me hemming and hawing here. This is a real awkward topic for me. I'll just say that it's really awkward because our numbers in terms of registration presence are really small. So we don't get taken seriously in a lot of ways. We do get ignored, and that's just reality. And so in looking at this and looking at the threat of someone like a Zohran Mamdani, okay, what are our real chances? I think we're having very realistic conversations with ourselves. Can Curtis win? Those are real conversations. We're not the Biden campaign. We're not going to overlook, something that's clearly, our numbers are bad. Joe Biden had mental decline. The Republicans.
What? Wait.
I'm saying
you sharp as a tack. What are you talking about?
It's basic fact. That was a basic fact. We all saw that. And the Republican numbers in Manhattan are not good. We do not have good numbers. We have great people. We certainly are, I believe, on the right side of history. But we're living in a time where our numbers, both in terms of, I got 18.2% of the vote. I got slaughtered. We all got slaughtered. We get slaughtered all the time, but we're not giving up. And we're still here. And that does make it tough sometimes. And
so Pete,
he's a big personality. He's New York. Real quick, Charlie, I just want to say he's a big personality. He's New York, like classic New York. Gambinos shot him. He was like a Warriors New Yorker getting in fights with people in Brooklyn. And he's also like his bread and butter is crime, cleaning up crime and stuff. And I feel like that's pretty attractive. And he's like big in taking care of cats and animal cruelty.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't, and like again, maybe I don't understand New York City mayor politics, but like he'll be going against either way. He's going against Zohran, he's going against Cuomo, and he's going against Eric Adams.
And Walden.
To me, it seems like there's a pathway for him. If you get some more cameras in front of him and get some good social media people with him and some money, but I don't know, maybe there's something I'm missing.
I would agree with that because again. The energy that guy has, as opposed to, again, today's my 10th anniversary of living in New York City. So I am
a real New Yorker. This is a huge day for you.
It is.
Congratulations.
Now, the reason why I bring that up is because when I listen to Curtis, when we talk to Curtis, I see a guy who lives and breathes this town. Okay, he is a quintessential. He is the quintessential New Yorker.
Yeah, yeah.
And the other part to that is Curtis, just like Jim Walden. I'll give him props on this. These guys are out here. They're in the streets. Okay. Like people, like they have, like Curtis has a name recognition that you can't beat, right? Like he might not be known by party elites, right? Or like out of state donors, but the people in the neighborhood know him. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is this, like. If you, like his Uber driver knew him when we picked.
That's a true story. I was surprised about that.
There, okay. Yeah. The Uber driver, the people.
I've never picked up a celebrity before. I'm like, how does he know? I'm surprised he knew Curtis. He's like a young guy.
Exactly. So my thing is, matter of fact, I'm gonna ask a follow-up question on that. If there isn't much support for Curtis in, say, Manhattan, why not switch the focus to the outer boroughs?
We do that. That's certainly, I think that in terms of numbers, in terms of I'm not involved in Curtis's campaign. I will tell you right now, I cannot speak on behalf of Curtis's campaign.
Understood. No.
And I've been involved in others. I was involved in Fernando Mateo when we ran him in the primary 4 years ago. There is division within the party about Curtis. There were incidents involving Curtis that people had issues with. And anyone doing research on it, showing up at poll sites with his animals and refusing and having his, Cuomo, Curtis for mayor, and just certain things that he's done. He's a big personality, and big personalities in this town have detractors and they have fans. And Curtis is no different in that way.
Of course.
I've met Curtis many times. I like Curtis. I certainly will be voting for him in November. But I think that the reality of having a Republican mayoral candidate to win, there's got to be certain numbers and there has to be certain money in place. That money and the numbers in terms of polling and numbers in terms of money are not in place. I think don't look great right now. They could change radically. People, in order to make things happen in the political realm, so many people have been through so many races. There's a great deal of fatigue. The people who actually can write the checks and do things, they've been through it all before.
Yeah.
You really have to come at them. You cannot. I mean, I've been on the phone with the New York Post trying to get Charlie. Remember Brian Robinson, who ran for city council? You did work with him. I did some articles for him. You're on the phone with these people, and you're excited. The campaign's great. You're getting great stuff on the street, and you're having the anecdotal experience. You're talking to this guy for 3 hours. We have that. The press will say, "Show me a poll. Show me an independent poll. How much money has he raised?" It comes down to very blunt stuff. It comes down to how much money and what kind of legitimate poll can you show me? And so the excitement around Curtis, you meet Curtis, you spend 3 hours with Curtis, like, why isn't this guy not mayor? Of course, if you spend 3 hours with Curtis Sliwa, you're going to think you spend 10 minutes with Curtis Sliwa. You're like, why is he not mayor? But that really isn't how it works. And it has to translate across broad platforms. And frankly, it's just not, we're not set up for the city and the dominant media. And the people in this town are so entrenched. And I'll tell you, just the Trump derangement syndrome in this town is so deep. People don't need people who kind of would like Curtis and may even secretly vote for Curtis.
He's Republican.
Be in public disclosure giving him money. They don't want to be busted. They don't want to be busted at work for writing a check. That you can secretly vote for someone. You cannot secretly donate money. And that's a huge barrier. So what happens? I mean,
you can secretly donate money to Mamdani through ghost donors. I don't know.
I mean, you can do that. I mean, so you're still flouting it. But I mean, the reality is legitimately, I believe firmly Curtis will get much better numbers this November than he did 4 years ago. The crime, the fact that he's out there. I think Curtis has had a much more disciplined campaign. I think he didn't know if he was going to win the primary last time. There was a primary. There's no primary this time. Curtis is our guy. We're running him. There's no issue. He's definitely on the ballot, both independently and under the GOP line in November. And he'll do much better. But he'll climb. And I'm not.
Let me ask you this, Pete. When you talk about polling, how did you take into account people like Isaiah, people like me, who are registered Democrats, but we're voting for a Republican?
That goes in. That's just simply the registration numbers are something that the media looks at saying you're nothing and it comes in. The polling is, pretty much it's an indicator. And we just don't have any poll that breaks through right now. There's no poll that's going to say what people want to see is a poll saying this person could win. And it has to be, fairly independent. It has to be from a pollster that makes their money working with corporate America, so their credibility is on the line. It's got to be someone real. And we don't have that. It simply doesn't exist. And, certainly he's not limited. The current numbers have Curtis doing better than Republican registration. So that is factored in.
So it sounds like Curtis is a little too local. Would that be would that be a fair, would that be?
Oh, I don't think you can. I think I think.
I mean, if that would even be something like
that's his biggest strength. No, I wouldn't say that. I think one of the best strengths of Curtis Lee was he's been on the subways, the Guardian Angels. I would say the New York born and bred. I don't think you can be too local. Certainly, if someone had moved here 5 years ago from the West Coast that was running, we would throw that against them. I certainly think that would be a huge weakness in anyone who didn't grow up here.
Because I think
he doesn't seem to be taking advantage of social media. I feel like, Isaiah, the way obviously the way Mamdani is. I guess Cuomo. I don't know how much Cuomo is either. I'm really seeing that, John.
He also, it's not time yet.
Okay.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Why would you waste money?
Curtis also right now, guys. It's right.
That's a good point.
Right.
Good point.
Curtis isn't running right now.
Right.
Curtis is on the ballot in November. We're not. I mean, we know he's going to be in. We've got independent lines. No one's making a decision on Curtis on Tuesday. So therefore, why cover Curtis? He's a done deal right now. So that's another thing.
But he should probably be posting more videos up, even if it's like selfies, like Isaiah does or whatever. Like it's like selfie videos, like because he could talk. I mean, that doesn't cost any money.
I mean, certainly
go on some rants.
You're right. I mean, I think I'm not involved in the campaign. I will say that, but I agree with you. He definitely.
Personally, I think as a candidate, that could hurt you more than it could help you. I don't see, because the people following him, most likely, they're already voting for him.
Yeah.
And if he goes viral for something, it's going to be because the media picked up on something or opponent picked up on something that they're going to harp on and they're going to make him look bad out of it. So I don't really see that as a tactic that works. Whereas looking at social media for candidacy that does work, and one thing you can give the guy credit for is Mamdani has snazzy videos. He's got good video production, right?
Right.
I'll give him that. Shea Osei, he has good video production. These are the two dumbest human beings in city government, and they have good video production. So yes, they're going to get votes. They're totally unqualified, both of them. One of them happens to be a city council member in his second term and is completely unqualified. He has never had a job either. I mean, he was raised by a very wealthy father who passed away and left him a lot of money, right? Mamdani is still getting money from mom and dad. So these people have time to work on their acting skills. Oddly enough, they were both failed actors. One was also a failed model and the other a failed rapper. Not a lot of...
Curtis was a radio guy, though, for a long time. I mean, she's got media chops.
Sure.
And there's something to be said, on the other hand, Charlie, of like just familiarity, right? The more your face is out there, people know your name, people suddenly start to like you a little more. Some people do, right? They're more likely to, just like with marketing, advertising, they're more likely to buy products if they know the name without knowing much else. So there's something about that. He could say something that, that maybe gets him a little hot water, but he could also say some stuff that people be like, oh, finally somebody's saying this. That's a real New Yorker. I like his accent.
I think a better tactic would be to get him on other people's accounts. Have other people talking about him. Have other people, maybe interview him or have him just pop up somewhere when they're talking about something. Even if it's a restaurant review, have him pop up and start talking about how good the pizza is.
Yeah, things like that.
I agree with you about getting him out there. But in his case, the people following him, they're voting for him already. But
if he could spread across social media to people who aren't following him, like Instagram, TikTok, X, that sort of thing.
He's on X. He's got about a very low 6-digit following. Posts every day. Very rarely do.
Oh, he does? Okay.
Yeah, he's actually very active on X.
I don't see him. Okay.
He's posted while we've been on, talking about seniors and all that. He's very active. Very rarely does he. Most of his reposts are in mid 3 digits. Like 300 people will repost. It's not bad. He could definitely, I think, maybe explore TikTok. And I think more and more the opening is, and what we're tracking is that young women, in terms of people registering, in terms of the data on who's kind of registering, who's writing into the Manhattan GOP website, we're seeing a very strong increase, and we have for the last 6 months, in young women in their 20s. And a lot of that is, frankly, bottom line crime. And it's it's one of those things where we're shaking our heads because it's the last thing you want to build. It's a horrible circumstance, but that is bringing people into consideration.
That is a motivator, though. And you said that that it was women are coming to the GOP because of crime, right? That's what you said.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, again, that's Curtis's big thing, right? He's been doing it for decades.
That is absolutely Curtis's wheelhouse.
And he's a big cat, saves cats. So I mean, there's plenty of, I'm sure some cat ladies out there that might like that. Yeah,
he's got a bunch of cats in his apartment.
I'm allergic to cats. I'm still voting for the guy.
Yeah, the thing is, Curtis is just not. I think Charlie's point is he's not running right now. That's a lot of it. And so right now,
why waste the money?
Yeah, there's no. I mean, he's not going to get any attention right now with everything going on. It's all about Tuesday. I do not believe, and I knock wood. I hope I'm not wrong on this one. I don't think Mamdani has a serious shot at it. I think really after the New York Times article, I think he was I think he peaked. I think that was.
Do you think that many people read the New York Times though? I mean, I know
Democratic
generation, a little older. I mean, a little younger.
It's the Democratic. Here's the thing: primary voters are different than regular, general election voters. Primary voters are much more intensive. The numbers are much lower. You look at the numbers, and so the people in this town who read the New York Times and take the New York Times seriously, absolutely, they are influenced. And I think a lot of them, in their hearts, they like the idea, the spirit, the ethos of Zohran Mamdani. They know it's not workable, and the New York Times gives them permission to say, no, don't vote for this person. And I think that a lot of people are just going to secretly vote for Cuomo. I think he is very much a politically incorrect choice for a lot of Democrats, but they're going to be making a practical choice, and they're going to be voting for Cuomo. Brad Lander is not going to get it. I think a lot of people are canceled out. I met Brad. I'll tell you something. I met Brad Lander.
Getting arrested maybe like once a week. He might. He might get some.
He's an awkward guy. I met him in the green room of the John Katsimatidis has this radio show called the Cats Roundtable. I did it when I was running. And I was there for like a half hour alone in the green room with Brad Lander. This is like 7 years ago. And it was just one of the most socially awkward guys I've ever met in my life.
Oh, he definitely gives those.
Good luck, brother. Good luck.
I mean, as much as he sweats, he literally looks like a fish that was just taken off some ice.
Hold on a second.
Fish. He looks like a fucking
red snapper.
Snapper, exactly.
Every guy snapper.
We've all seen the video of him at the Caribbean Day Parade dancing on the float, but tonight at that Working Families party, Isaiah, I just sent you something on X. If you could pull up that video.
Sure thing.
This is him being serious. It's hysterical.
Uh-oh.
Lander?
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be good.
I just sent it. This was the same, Ayanna Dudley. She posted it.
Oh, my God. Oh, God.
Brad Lander stepping on stage at the Working Families party. He was just introduced by Jermaine Williams. You gotta show this to people.
Here we go. Oh no. Oh, this is. Oh God, this is gold. Hold on a second. So now I got to do this. Where am I? Oh yeah. We got to do this. Just look at this fucking guy here. Look at. Oh wait. No.
Oh my God! Oh, it's lagging it. There you go.
Why is this?
Public advocate, your money, will you?
Hold on. He's dancing like Elon on stage. Everybody looking.
Why?
Or like Bill Gates. He's dancing like Bill Gates in the Microsoft video. That's what he's doing. Bill Gates and those other.
Public advocate, your money, will you?
Oh goodness.
When I say working, you say families. Working.
Is he doing a hip hop chant?
God!
Oh shit, he's doing a hip hop chant.
Oh my
old school hip hop chant.
Oh.
When I say working, you say families. Working.
God! Oh,
I haven't seen that shit since
That's DJ Cool right there.
Yeah.
And just to remind you, he's in charge of our money.
He's the current controller.
The current comptroller. Okay, so now I think I'm gonna be out.
Hope he's good at that at least.
Chavez, I'm gonna be out next week because I just cringed so fucking hard. I think I pulled a muscle in my neck.
That's rough, man.
Right.
He
So
did
bad.
the Bill Gates dance, the Microsoft dance, and then he went in with the hip hop, old school hip hop crowd work.
Oh, and who can forget?
Good Lord.
Forget. Wait a minute. I gotta find this. I just had this. Who could forget that face? That face that he had. Oh, here we go. I gotta share this.
Luca Brasi over here.
Oh no! Oh yeah. Look up. That picture's terrible.
Yeah, this thing. Hold on, like, just look at this fucking guy. Look at this.
Brutal.
I made this earlier in the week. Like this, just stop already. Oh, anyways,
it's like Rodney Dangerfield on that angle.
Oh yeah. I get no respect.
You got no respect.
All right, I don't want to give the guy too much time, but you got to show the one last thing I just sent you. I'm the guy that doesn't use the word retard that Pete was talking about before. This case, I will, because he's looking at a flag in this video, and it's like he's amazed that it moves as he swings
it's like Hillary when she was.
No.
Who gave this guy the checkbook?
Yes, look at this.
What a loser.
This guy.
What are you doing, man?
You would never know. You would never know that this guy has shunted almost $1 billion over to his wife, to nonprofits associated with life. He plays dumb, but this guy obviously has enough to send over that kind of cash to all of these nonprofits throughout the city.
The most profitable 3 hours the city's pension funds have had in his term were the 3 hours he was sitting in a cell earlier this week because he wasn't able to screw anything up or steal anything. It's
got him.
Unbelievable that this guy even has any off. And look at all the personality lacking of all these candidates like the Keith Powers and the Mark Levines of the world, who I would genuinely rather watch paint dry than have a conversation with these people. This guy, how does this guy get elected?
Because he's from out of state.
Interject. Mark Levine's a personal friend of more than 30 years. I disagree with him politically, but he's a very interesting guy. I disagree with you.
You watch your mouth, Charlie.
I've never had a conversation with him, but that doesn't change the fact that he comes across as boring.
He does, and not only. I'm just gonna I'm in that boat too, Pete. And you're not the only person who said that about Mark Levine. I personally, the only good thing that I'll give Mark Levine credit on one thing, and that is his stance on reopening psychiatric hospitals. The one on Randall's Island in particular. I'll give him credit on that, but in terms of like what he's done as borough president, stacking all of these, stacking the community boards with all of these transportation alternatives people and all of that. I'm good.
Well, I'm not. I mean, on matters of policy, he and I agree to disagree. But I'm just saying, in terms of, I have spent a lot of time. I did pro bono work for him when he opened his credit union 30 years ago. I got him on New Yorker of the Week for New York One. I mean, I think the political process kind of whittles people down.
Never got me on New Yorker of the Week, Pete.
That's true. Well, that'll happen. But I think that it's interesting because I think that to make it in New York politics, this is why people don't go national from New York. New York whittles you down. I don't think it's a great town to be a big personality in. I think Curtis is learning that. I think Mark Levine learned it in the reverse and, shuts down a lot of what makes Mark a compelling person in person is not there for the public. And that results in success in New York politics. I don't think New York politics is a place to become somebody and go national. It doesn't happen. I mean, Giuliani, because of 9/11, went national, but he really, boy, did he not do well when he ran. I mean, that did not translate. his
that's true.
Was,
I mean, I think a guy's like if there's one guy,
De Blasio is an exception, Pete, because he was
awful in person and awful as a mayor.
I'm just kidding, guys.
Guy,
he did not do well nationally.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Like I don't know what to say. Like the one guy, like if there's a city council member that I can think of that's kind of like that, that's really like just like another one who's very like socially awkward. Like I'm talking about a guy who actually runs away from constituents when they talk to him. That
Lincoln
would be
Wrestler.
Yes. Who?
Lincoln Wrestler. He's a trust
Williamsburg and Greenpoint.
Yeah, he's a trustafarian with an office on Atlantic Avenue. I don't understand that part, but yeah, this guy, he's a trustafarian kid. I think he's younger than us. He's in his like mid 30s, and he's all of what? He's like 5'2" or some shit.
Well,
and runs.
You know where his money's from?
From his. What's his money from?
His family owns large pieces of the companies that provide power for electric vehicles in the charging stations.
Oh my God.
He's just purely a plant for electric cars and for the e-bikes and anything that's charged on 2 or 4 wheels. So every time he passes legislation, he's hearing the cash register ring.
So that thing that Impunity City posted earlier today, where he was out in Queens and they were setting up that I guess a massive charging station. Oh my God, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Oh, you know what? No, there's one more question I have to ask you, Pete.
Okay.
This is the second question that I asked Jesse.
Well, hold on. I just wanted to answer the first question you asked, Pete.
That's right. Charlie didn't get a chance to answer about
how dangerous is Mamdani?
Yeah.
Yes.
I disagree with Pete. Right now, if I were to quantify it, I'd say he's off the charts dangerous because he's getting more and more press for lies. And he's getting more and more people to think, oh, wait, a mayor can give me free things and freeze my rent when they can't. Now, if he were to get elected, if hell froze over and the guy did, I agree with Pete. I don't think he's winning Tuesday. He has no shot in the general election. If he were to get elected, he's nowhere near as dangerous as he is now because he can't just unilaterally pass legislation. Even if he's aligned with the city council, the stuff he wants to do is the state. And if he were to raise corporate taxes, like Whitney Tilson said in the debate, those are state taxes. He can't do it. And even if he got Albany to do it, which he has pushback from them, then they're not just giving the money to New York City. They're going to keep some upstate as well. Buffalo, Rochester, they all want money too. So he has no ability to do any of the things he says. But if he leaves them as empty promises, it gives the socialists and the DSA the ability to continually do the same thing to increase their membership and to run another version of him in 4 years to increase their membership and have more entitled people registering and voting for whoever their candidate is. And eventually the house of cards falls because one day, if they're successful, they get elected and everyone says, wait, but my bus ride wasn't free and all these companies left New York and the rent wasn't frozen. You lied to me. That would be great. But it's not going to happen because he won't get elected. So right now, he's the most dangerous candidate in this race. Once he loses, he's not. The next guy is. If he were to win, he's handcuffed. It doesn't matter. He can't do shit.
So this socialist dystopia isn't going to arrive whether he gets elected or not, you're saying?
Correct.
Interesting. Well, what about the government-funded grocery store and stuff like that? The government
can't do it.
No.
How can he do it?
I don't know. I don't know.
Is he going to go in and use eminent domain as a mayor to seize retail space and turn them into groceries? Is he going to go get Albany to approve tax cuts for people to give away their space so he can put food on the shelves? Exactly what Pete said. Kraft Foods is going to say, no, we're selling to the government. If he's using the idea of price gouging, which isn't happening. I'm sorry, there's no price gouging in groceries. People charge more in different areas because of rent. A bottle of Diet Coke or Gatorade costs a lot more on 55th and Madison than it does on 116th and 2nd because the rent's higher. That's it.
Interesting.
So if you want to talk about price gouging, that happens at the supplier level.
Does he have the power, or did you say the free Palestine?
Sorry? Yes, Palestine is free.
Can you free
You can have
Palestine?
as much of it as you'd like. You can go pick up the rocks and take them home. You just gotta, delivery's not included. That's where they get you. It's like when they offer the second one free, but you got to pay $15.95 for shipping and handling.
Pete, last question.
All right. Well, that's good. That makes me feel better, at least.
Yes, same. I've been very concerned about. I've lived in the outer boroughs the whole 10 years I've been here. Okay, I have not lived in Manhattan. Thought about it, but there wasn't anything that was available, unfortunately. In the wake of President Trump's election, well, as a result of, I guess that's not a good way to put it, but Trump made inroads in so many places here in New York City. His largest numbers where he gained were here in the Bronx, where I'm at. And I think the second was Queens. I think the order was Bronx, then Queens, or was it Bronx and then Brooklyn or something? I can't remember the exact numbers. You probably have them right all offhand. What I'm concerned about is Republicans overall, and I think you kind of answered some of this in the first question. Republicans have, it's perceived, and I'm one of them that has perceived this, that Republicans are just kind of satisfied to sit back and watch and not push candidates in places where they're very risk averse. And again, you work for the GOP, and I'm trying to ask this question like being fair. Why does it feel like the GOP in many instances treats New York City like a no-go zone? When it comes to city council in particular, 51 out of the 51 members of our city council, only 7 are Republicans. Shout to Vicky Palladino and Ina Vernikoff, the two that I know personally. However, the Bronx doesn't really have any, to my knowledge. We've lived in what's objectively been one party rule. So what is the plan with everything that's going on with Trump's rise in these areas, in the outer boroughs? What are you as the Republican Party doing to maybe capitalize and bring more candidates to the outer boroughs?
I think there's a disconnect between people's impression of the Republican Party nationally being so powerful. We have the White House, we have the Senate, we have the House of Representatives, and there's real power there. We do not have real power in the city. We just don't. So we're coming from a place where you're thinking of it as like half the country, and then we're like the 7%, 10%, really small, very small numbers. Our ability to raise money is low. We're really, really coming from behind, and I think we're farther behind than people realize because of the numbers, because the way New York has been set up. So there is a little bit of progress being made. My goal, I will just tell you personally, and because we hear this sort of big, broad plans a lot, and I will say, and I just know that I have limited political capital. limited resources, but I'm pretty good on the stump and I'm pretty good on the streets. My goal as one of the vice presidents of the Manhattan GOP is, and I will say this, my goal in life is to get one Republican official elected on the island of Manhattan. That is my goal. And towards that goal, every time someone comes up, like we had downtown, we had Brian Robinson 2 years ago. Charlie worked with him. I made every effort. We were writing op-eds for him. We were doing that. Didn't get anywhere. Eventually, someone's going to break through and we're going to have one. And we're going to have one up in the Bronx, and it starts small. I think people are thinking, oh, this broad plan. We really need to centralize more. We do spread ourselves kind of thin with candidates that maybe aren't as viable because we're not getting people to run. We're not having primaries. The tide will turn. Things will turn when there are Republican primaries. And we have some, not in the island of Manhattan, we don't. Or we have one. We have a primary for controller, actually. But when we're going to see that is when people start wanting these. It's a slow, arduous process. And it's happening, but it's happening so far from such a small vantage point that you're not noticing it. You're not going to notice if something goes from 9% to 12%, even though that's a 25% increase or a 33% increase. It still feels really small because that's your impression. On the inside, we are making tracks. We are getting better. Our social media numbers are up. Our numbers are up. Our numbers are increasing incrementally, but we've got a long, long way to go. And one thing that will help is people just saying, I'm going to bite the bullet, give up these primaries, and register as a Republican. That's a lot of our effort now, is just getting people to say, hey, I am a Republican, so we can get certain things funding-wise, so we can get more money from the RNC. I actually met with Casey Crosby last fall with the Manhattan GOP. We had a meeting. We basically made the case for saying, hey, to the Republican National Committee nationally, invest in the cities. We are making the play to get national support, saying if we can do it here. But it's a tough road. It's just a very tough road. And your impression is not off, though. When you're saying, oh, it's nothing, I get that. We understand that. It's not because you're not looking somewhere. It's because you're just not in the thick of it, in the trenches with us, looking at the numbers on a monthly basis.
Right, of course.
Involved.
Well, I mean, we're just we're a humble podcast, fledgling podcast, as being our 20th episode. So, we'll do better. I'll commit to doing better in terms of like having the stats and looking at things and being a lot more involved than what I've been. I didn't have much of a chance of doing that when I was living in Brooklyn, but I will be doing that now that I'm here.
Well, I really appreciate that. We really appreciate that. Thank you. That's where it starts. This is, you say fledgling in many ways. I hate to say, the GOP may be very strong nationally. It's not wrong to maybe possibly use that term about us, especially in Manhattan, where we're really fledgling to get on ground and get people. We haven't had an elected official here since Roy Goodman, who was a state senator on the Upper East Side, more than 50 years ago. So we've got a lot of work to do.
Pete, I'll say this is the time, I think, to really be optimistic, though, about potentially converting people, registering people, because this is legacy media is dying in a lot of ways, and independent media is leaning conservative pretty heavily. And I think a lot of, and the Democrats have never been crazier, right?
And
so
who we're getting?
There's a big opportunity here.
You know who we're getting? What we're seeing? We're getting young men. We're getting young people. Anyone who had to wear a mask in school, we're getting a lot of them.
Oh yeah.
We're getting young men and women who are dealing with crime. So we're getting the millennials. I think we may have lost out on. I don't think we'll ever get them. But the 26 and unders.
A lot of them are listening to conservative leaning independent media. They're like Rogan's pretty conservative leaning. Most of the comedians are. They criticize Democrats quite a bit. They have their little Democrat points of view, so they're kind of moderate, but they're center right. I'd say most of them. And that's a lot of millennials. That's a lot of Gen Z. That's a lot of Gen X.
Yeah.
So they're out there, and they're disgusted, I think, with the Democrats, and they think that they're crazy. They think that the gender stuff is out of control. The open borders is ridiculous. The legacy media lying to us. They see that. you know, it's there's a lot to say. I mean, the crime, the woke policies that don't work, that make everything more expensive, that makes people dumber, makes people hate the country. Like the list goes on. There's not much to say. And if you look at even the legacy media, they can't even whitewash the Democrats anymore. Like the Democrats are in trouble. So I don't see why New York can't really make some gains. I don't think, I'm not saying they're going to,
I'm not saying it's
going to win a lot of elections anytime soon, but there's some gains to be made. Like the Democrats might be done, honestly. If they refuse to accept reality the way they have been, and they just continuously election cycle after election cycle just refuse to look in the mirror for the most part, they are going to be done if they just keep on going into the view. The view woke bubble and further and more entrenched, they're going to be done.
Yeah, a couple things before we wrap up. Shannon Heron, good to thank you commenting. Thank you for watching. Says we need Soros money. Maybe Elon can help. Elon,
I'm not sure what's up with Elon now, but
I think Elon needed a break. I think he was burnt out from all the stuff that was happening. And now that he's trying to come back to, him and Trump are trying to patch things up. I think they will. And then Shannon also says the secret to getting black men is to reform child support. I think she might be onto something with that. Something maybe to talk about it at another date. But I want to thank you, gentlemen, for coming on to the show. It was really, really appreciated. I know it was very short notice. Charlie, we appreciate you. Pete, we thank you guys for coming on. You're more than welcome to stop back in. Before you go, anything that you two gentlemen are working on that you want to promote, anything you want to talk about, now is your time.
Charlie, go first.
I sell real estate, so if you're looking to buy something, give me a call. But on a completely unrelated note, there's a small company out of Dallas called Duke and Winston. It's all bulldog themed clothing, and they work a lot with bulldog rescues around the country. And they are attempting to break the world record for a bulldog gathering. They want to have over 1,000 bulldogs in one place. They're going for the Guinness Book of World Records, and I'm helping them in the beginning stages of planning a very large event. And we need some help. It will be for charity. If there's anyone listening or anybody knows somebody who has large event logistics experience or is interested in perhaps sponsoring something, you can reach out to Isaiah. He can forward my information or reach out to me directly on X at Building Bulldog. But the goal of this is obviously to have fun, break a Guinness Book of World Records, but also help save a bunch of dogs. And if you want to check out the clothing line, it's awesome. I own a ton of their stuff. It's duke-winston.com.
Yeah, I'm typing that in right now, typing that into the chat. I also have this here, duke-winston.com. Mr. Holmberg, what you got for us, sir?
I just want to get people, after this election, if you haven't registered, a lot of people in New York have not registered. A lot of people everywhere haven't registered. Wherever you are, make sure you're registered. Make sure you vote. And registering as a Republican is a very good statement. Please do yourself a favor and register as a Republican, not independent. So I urge people to register to vote, and I urge them to check the box marked Republican. Please do that before November. Thank you.
And Aster wanted to say goodbye.
Oh.
She apologizes for snoring. It's been a rough day. It's hot down here in South Carolina.
Rough day, and it's not just a dog, huh?
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I greatly appreciate you coming on the show once again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great conversation, guys.
Anytime you guys want to come back, please do. We would love to have you.
Great.
All right. Thank you. All right. What a show, man.
Yeah, and we didn't really get into Iran yet, man. Do we have time to do that? Get quick thoughts on it?
We got into it a little bit. We kind of
kept on changing the subject here. We did. I know we saw you played that video, but then we gotta change the subject on it. But I just think.
What are your thoughts on it? So we can talk about it real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting a lot of people. We've seen a lot of people. I'm sure you have, like, where they're saying that, I didn't vote for this. This is going to put people's lives in danger and all this stuff. And it's like, I get what they're saying, and they think it's going to be Iraq. And they don't know why. Why are we doing this? Why are we getting rid of their nuclear weapons? And it's like, do you guys remember that they killed like over 1,000 of our troops and citizens? Iran, through either directly or through terrorism, through proxies, through those road bombs. It's like, why would we tolerate that in the first place? Like, I don't understand, like, why anybody thought, like, we're a lot more powerful than them. Obviously, we already let Israel just freaking laid them out on their back, pretty much. It's like, why wouldn't we just finish the job and just get rid of that nuclear risk? Why wouldn't we? Like, I don't understand what the issue is. Like, if you have all this power, all this strength that we have, all this money we put towards our military, and you have these people who are threatening you all the time, killing us, literally killing our people, launching missiles at and that's besides the fact that they say death to America, death to Israel. They threaten Israel. They've tried to launch, who knows how many missiles at Israel over the years before this. October 7th, they helped with that. I mean, what do you mean that why are you so shocked that we did this? I just don't understand. And then one more thing I want to say is that even I saw it was very positive from CNN last night, or when was it last night that it happened? Yeah, where they bombed Fordo, and like Rahm Emanuel, who he was a former Obama guy, like chief of staff, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. He was Obama's chief of staff in the first. The first years.
Big Democrat. I think he was a mayor of Chicago as well.
Yes.
Is he Jewish?
Yes, he is.
I think he is. So that's probably part of it. But like, he was even saying, like, he was very positive about it. He said, and this I thought was really important, like, that people need to realize, it's like Iran is a bit of a proxy, I think, for China, maybe even for Russia. And it's like, he said that, like, doing this to Iran, it's like it makes Russia and it makes China really recalibrate what they might want to do with us. Like, do they want to screw around with us? They want to press things too much? Do they want to go after Taiwan? I don't know if I'm China, if I want to even risk that. But before this, I'm not sure I want to risk that. But now it's like, we just, Iran is like not going to do shit unless we have like a ground war with them or something like that. And then, maybe, but like, it's like, so, I mean, China needs, I think everybody sees this and like, oh, Trump says what he's going to do, and he does it. And we did it like a freaking movie, like freaking like Top Gun, just having these freaking ridiculously advanced ships go over there, drop these 30,000 ton, like we could do that to other countries too. We could do that shit to China. We could do that shit to Russia if we need to. It's like, I think, like, people need to know, they need to know that we're willing to do that. Like, you need to have strength through peace
through strength. Exactly.
And and it's a peace through strength. And I think, we've been missing that with the Democrats, like paying Iran $1.5 billion and stuff, and letting them dick us around for decades. It's like, why are we doing this? Like, enough. Anyway, that's what I want to say.
No. I hear you. And my issue with this is when it comes to Iran, a lot of people have been asking me, even I'll admit, even my fiance was asking me this question earlier. Like, how is this America first? How is a 36-hour flight, total flight, that is? How is a 36-hour flight to drop off a 30-pound bomb in the midst of, to drop off three 30-pound bombs into Iran's nuclear site? How is that America first? I've thought about it, and here's what I keep coming back to this. Iran wanted dead Americans more than anything else. We have been dealing with this issue since 1979, when my last namesake, President Jimmy Carter, decided to let the Shah get run out of the country to then let Ruhollah Khomeini, the Ayatollah, come in. Jimmy Carter's legacy will be forever marred by his weakness in that moment. And people simply do not understand. These people had ICBMs they were developing. The second they were done and operational, they were going. It wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when they were going to launch those nukes and drop them off here in New York City, Washington, D.C., and have a mass casualty event.
Dirty bombs or something, even. Yeah.
Bombs, EMPs, all sorts of shit. Iran is objectively one of our greatest enemies, or I'm sorry, the paleo communist government of Iran that currently that currently leeches off of the people there, that currently oppresses the people. Because a lot of people don't even know what Iran was like before these scumbags in long coats screaming death to America came along. Iran was one of the freest nations in the Middle East. I say all that to say, would you rather an ICBM be dropped off here in the U.S.? ICBM is intercontinental ballistic missile, where basically they shoot a missile up and then it comes down from space, from above. Would you rather that happen? Would you rather that happen or not at all, which is what happened over the last few hours? Iran's entire nuclear program gone. Gone. They have nothing now. The legacy of Jimmy Carter and Barack Obama got erased in one night. And people don't even consider that part either. I would much rather, and here's my thing. If the real violent stuff, if these sleeper cells that the Biden administration let walk right through our southern and northern borders, if they happen, then you know something. If you see something, say something, folks. That's the best thing I can say. May God keep watch over us on our own shores. But the one thing that you cannot say is they could launch a nuke at us at any time. That's America first. And the second part to this is, I believe there's three reasons for this. Reason number 2. People needed to see, and I'm talking about Americans. Americans need to see what a real leader is like. Someone who does exactly what he says when he says he's going to do it. A real leader who doesn't take shit from anyone, who, as Teddy Roosevelt said, walks softly and yet carries a big stick.
Big old stick. That's right.
And in this case, that big stick was a 30,000-pound Moab. 30,000-pound Moab that was shoved up the ass of Iran's nuclear program. Again,
you feel that one.
People needed to see how men operate. I'm just going to go ahead and at the risk of sounding sexist.
I agree.
At the risk of sounding sexist, because people do not know anymore how real men handle business. Yeah, I'm gonna go there for a minute. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna say this real quick because I want to finish. We got to finish up the show again, and I have one final thing that I want to do before it gets too late. People need, ladies and gentlemen, what you just witnessed on the stage or yesterday with President Trump and VP Vance and Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, all these guys, you just bore witness to how real men are supposed to operate. Men who do exactly what they say they are going to do when they say it. Men who show strength and resolve in the face of adversity. Men who make hard decisions regardless of what anyone thinks of them or says about them later. When you think of men these days that are that on the when it comes to the Democrats, you think of Tim Walz, weird fucks who may or may not have ordered a hit on that Speaker of the House out there in Minnesota, but allegedly. That's speculation.
Allegedly.
Okay. Allegedly. What do we see here? We see, what are examples of men on when it comes to Democrats? Men like David Hogg, whose arm is about as big as my fucking pinky, who steals money from the Democrats and got caught. And then when they can't admit that it was the content of his fucking character that got him thrown out of the party, what do? They say, well, it was a diversity thing. What do you think of when you see men on the when they've got? What do you think of men on the Republican Party? I'll show you right now. Okay, here's what you think of with Democrats when you see men on the Republican Party. That's what you see. That's what you see. I'm gonna play this through. Let everybody watch this. Here's what they think of you men.
They are using people like me as pawns. I refuse to be used as a pawn. And I think it's our
When you're a queen, you can't be a pawn.
Oh, wow,
come on now.
I love that.
I just want to throw that in there.
Thank you.
But go. You were saying
you got to trademark that. The final thing I'll say on that is, and in order to not be used as a pawn, in order for all
fuck you.
I can't even.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Good
fuck
Lord.
You. And fuck that guy. Again, that's the example of manhood that Democrats have sat in front of us for 10 to 15 fucking years.
Yeah, and having China lick their lips, man. China, Russia, Iran.
Dresses and bitch ass niggas. That's who they've been sitting in front of us.
It's a fact, man. That's a fact.
It sickens me that that's the example that has been set before this country in terms of manhood.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good when you have hostile countries, man.
When I think of how men in this country have been told that being weak and inoffensive and believing in anti-truths, black men have absolutely no value in the Democrat Party unless they are punks or unless they are dead. And no one knows how to be a man anymore.
That's by design, man.
No one knows how to be a man in this when it comes to Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
And it disgusts me. And so what did the American people need to see? The American people needed to see how real men operate. And that's what was on display. The people needed to know that our military was not full of troons and mentally ill reprobates. Mentally ill reprobates that were going, and I'm gonna tell you this right now.
So true, man.
The Democrat Party was bringing people in who were going to drone strike American citizens for having the wrong political opinions and for saying the wrong thing. I firmly believe that. That's why they were bringing them in. Because guess what? You might not be able to send someone who's been a lifetime patient of the pharmaceutical industry. You might not be able to send them on a combat mission, boots on the ground in Iran. But guess what? You can have them pilot a fucking drone and have them take out a church. Or maybe you could take, or you know, maybe you could take out, you know, somebody who's been speaking very, very non-worshipful of Democrats. You could do that.
This is a long march of institutions too, man. This is by design. I mean, this came from the Soviet Union, you know, probably Maoist China, coming from communist China now, pushing this you know, gender theory, critical theory, all these things that divide us, make us weaker, make hyper feminism, all these different things that are making us the men more emasculated and more confused and bigger pussies, bigger pussies, and like this is pushed from abroad. You know, this is pushed from China, from Russia, from Qatar, like the money they put into our universities. This is by design. They get, you know, they're loving it when they see like Admiral Rachel Levine and stuff like that, and you know, and freaking a general with a freaking dog mask and stuff. It's like a joke, and it's like, you know, thank God that we have like the conservatives back in power. We have Donald Trump back in power, Pete Hegseth, people who are going to be like, we're not going to give a shit about any of that bullshit that woke bullshit we've been caring about, pretending to care about for years. We're just going to care about being the strongest, most devastating, most lethal, most powerful, most decisive military on earth. And you know, and if anybody has anything to say about it, you know, you just saw what's going to happen. Like, don't fuck around with us ever. Like, I think people, they need to, like, people need to know there's serious consequences to fuck around with the United States of America, man. Like, this is our country, and we don't, you know, we didn't put trillions of dollars behind our military for us to be worried about pissing off Iran when they threaten us. When David French said here, this New York Times columnist, said most Americans don't know, and he's a former vet. Most Americans don't know how much American blood is on Iranian hands. Iranian-backed militias took a terrible toll on our unit in Iraq. It is in our interest just as much as Israel's to block Iran's march to a bomb. I mean, so you know, this is the accountability, man. This is the roosters coming home, or the chickens coming home to roost. You know,
when a punk bitch like David French says something like that,
yeah, even he said it.
Okay, that means something.
And out of respect for him, he's an Iraq vet. So
yeah, but he's also been pretty soft when it comes to like he's been very pro-Democrat, and while claiming to be a Republican. And I've had my issues with him, but this was a necessity. And again, the biggest issue that we have in our society as a whole is that people do not understand basic morality. And the basic morality, the building blocks of character, of having good character, is simply doing what you'll say you're going to do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mean what you say and saying what you mean. Everyone thinks, you know, and that's the thing. The reason we live in such a low trust society now, where everyone thinks you're grifting. If you say something, you know, meanwhile you get an actual grifter like the Hodge twins, who will literally post one thing to X and another thing to Facebook.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? You like people think that if you say what you mean and you mean what you say, and then when you do what you say you're going to do, when your actions meet your words, people have no idea what the fuck that even means anymore, because anybody now can get what they want if they just scream really, really loud that everyone's racist, that America's oppressive, and they'll just get, I mean, this has been the pattern for 10 years. And Americans needed to know, that American spirit needed to be woken up. One last thing. I had a good conversation with my mother-in-law yesterday, with my mother-in-law and my fiance. And the question that was asked was, my mother-in-law, who the Jamaican, like born and raised in Jamaica, emigrated here late 80s, early 90s. She asked me, what does it mean what would be the one thing that unites Americans, or that could unite Americans across parties? Because she doesn't see it. You know, there was that one moment, there was 9/11 25 years ago. Hard to imagine that was 25 years ago. They were here. They were here for all that. And so there was that natural, that organic unity where someone else actually attacked us.
Yeah.
You know, as Americans. And this time, well, you know, 20 some years later, you have COVID. COVID was when everyone was forced from the top down to unite. And that don't work. That doesn't work, right? It didn't work. Because then when Biden comes in, they try to get everybody to unite behind the vaccines. So what is that one thing? And this is the question that was asked. What was that one thing that could actually unite Americans across parties? And I think that's it right there. Now,
I see a lot of Democrats supporting it.
Exactly. Saying what you mean, meaning what you say, and then your actions meeting up your words. Being imperfect creatures as we are as Americans, we have a very, you know, some people consider our Star Spangled, our national anthem to be, you know, about blowing shit up, rockets and bombs and all that, you know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is, it's having a good character. Always striving forth to create that more perfect union. And never stopping, always trying, always having the resiliency of knowing that with God on your side, you can do just about anything. And that's something that Democrats and Republicans can agree on.
It's also about standing up to bullies too, man. I mean, like these countries are trying to, China takes advantage of all the time. They steal our IP. They're buying farmland. They're bringing, apparently they're trying to bring in some bioterrorism. You know, the fungus, I know there's invasive insects from China. I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't a mistake that sucks up your crops. You know, they undermine us at every turn for decades, and when we try to accept them and bring them into the world global market and make them more rich, they put money into universities. Why? What do you think they're doing? They're sending spies over. It's you know, at a certain point, you just got to let people know. It's like we're not like a big sick whale that you're just going to be a parasites on, just sucking us dry until we're dead. Like we have to show some life, and show strength. And I think we just did. And it's I think we have a great ally in Israel. Like when you talk about real men doing things, I mean, Netanyahu is another one, a real leader who's, he doesn't give a shit what people say about him. It's like he's not going to take these threats from. After this terrorist attack, he's done having people shooting rockets over and over. He wants to be done with this, and I feel a similar way, man. I'm done with threats. Like people want to make themselves out as an enemy of the United States. So you treat them like an enemy.
Exactly.
That's not a smart place. That's not a smart thing to be as an enemy of the United States. And I think people need to be reminded of that. That's not fucked up, man.
So with that, got one last thing that I want to do. I have one final guest because I want to do something. I had just to give everyone some context. A friend of ours, mutual friend of ours, recommended that we start a wedding fund. I'm getting married.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm getting married. Yeah, you see the thing on the bottom where I was getting married. Like color purple. So it was recommended to us that we start a little wedding fund by this friend, and I wanted to, and it's been fantastic so far. It's actually worked out more because it was something we both were just kind of like, I don't know, but so far it's been great. People have we submitted we submitted a list on Amazon and all sorts of stuff. And it's been fantastic. And what I wanted to do was take this last part of the show if you're, wanted to take this last part of the show to thank everyone who has contributed. I want to thank them all in person. And also, real quick, I also want to give a shout out to young in-law. Okay. What's his first name again? Will? Yeah, Will in-law. Walney clothing line. This young man, real quick, this young man here just graduated high school. This was the kid whose graduation we went to. Okay. Young man graduated high school. This is a brilliant kid. Started a clothing line, and he's also on his way to aviation school. He's going to be studying to be a pilot.
That's awesome.
As a matter of fact, he's already got some hours in, like as training hours. So I want to give to young in-law, Walney. Matter of fact, let me just put this up here real quick. WalneyClothing.com. He's got, I wanted to support him. I've been wearing his hat tonight. Just wanted to represent for our family. So, babe, you can come on back. Let me just give you, let me pop this in real quick because I have another set of headphones. Come on in, babe. Everyone, I want to introduce you to the missus, my family. This is my future wife here. Just so everyone is aware, and that we're not, we're that this is real in the field. Everyone, this is Careen. Careen, everybody. Nick, you
Careen.
I don't think you've met her yet, have you?
No, not in person. Only over the phone.
Oh, okay. But yeah, we just wanted to take some time just to thank everybody real quick. Let me just read off these names of you will know. Oh, wait a minute. Did I close it by mistake? I did close it by mistake. Let me fix this. Babe, you want to say anything?
Hi. I am a real person. It's way past my bedtime. Like way past. Yeah, thank you to everyone who has shown love, support, sent a gift. Like I was very hesitant about making a registry and even doing the wedding fund, but I'm definitely overwhelmed and overjoyed by all of the support. So thank you. And thank you for the heart pot, the cake topper, the Mr. and Miss Cake Topper. I'm looking forward to the Mr. and Mrs. hats, and the Amazon gift card. Like, yeah. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, we just wanted, like I said, just wanted to thank y'all for everything that you've done for us so far. This has been great. So there's two things. We're getting married. We're getting married on July 11th. And then the big ceremony is on the 26th.
Yes.
So we greatly appreciate everyone.
July is going to be very busy.
Yeah. Yeah. July's going to be very, very busy.
I just ordered more thank you cards. Yeah. I'm my teacher brain I have 4 more days left. So bride brain is kicking in, and I thought teacher brain was intense. Bride brain is a different beast. So yeah.
It's gonna be fun though.
It will be fun.
Yes.
It's stressful, but it's fun. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful time. Beautiful celebration.
I am embracing my life being boxes.
Mm.
Opening boxes, packing boxes. I will do boxes for the rest of the summer. And I've accepted that, and I welcome all the gifts and the love. So thank you again.
Thank you for that. And let me.
Can I go to sleep?
Yes, you can go to sleep now. You can go.
Hi, Careen. Have a good night. Get some rest.
Yes, I have to be at school.
Yeah, I think teach the youngins.
Yeah. Sorry about that, babe. But thank you. I know this was tough on you. I will see you shortly. To those of you who have given it to us, I'm going to read these names off. to Patrick, to Jeff J, Brandy, to Brandy, Jeff T, Max, Pam, all of you great people. Thank you so much. To Chuck P, Tim, Brian, thank you all immensely. Jeremy, Michael, Michael B, Michael T, thank you all very, very much. You are fantastic people. You didn't have to do this whatsoever, but we praise God. We thank you all. To those of you who have given, let me see. Just want to make sure. To Paul N, I know you, brother. Thank you. To Holly, Frenessy, Amy, those of you, and also to Bronwyn, the very first Bronwyn I have ever come across. Thank you all. Thank you all immensely for this. Wanted to take this time to thank you. That is our show for tonight. This has been. Is there anything we didn't cover today?
I think there is actually something. I don't remember what it is, but I think there's something we wanted to talk about. But we had a lot to talk about. We had a lot of people on. We had a good time.
We had a great time.
We'll get to it at some point, whatever it is.
Yeah, we did have a great time, man. Next weekend, we've got Matt Osborne, one of the who is an OG apostate, and he's going to be talking to us. We are going to be closing out Pride Month. We'll be closing out Pride Month with his own story of when he was at a Netroots Nation meeting back in 2016 and saw the beginnings of when the left began to lose its mind. So thank you.
That's gonna be good.
That's going to be a fantastic show. I can't wait. Once again, if you want to follow us, Isaiah L. Carter at Nostra Chavez, though I might have him change his name to Chavez to Crenshaw Chavez or Chavez Crenshaw. Nostra Crenshaw, Apostate Radio NY, where you can get all of your show updates. We talk a little bit of shit, all that type of stuff. But we are building something here, and we praise God for each and every one of you. You can support us. You can support us. Once again, buymeacoffee.com/apostate radio. Thank you for the Pyrex. Someone just said thank you for the Pyrex dish set. Greatly appreciate y'all. And we will see you next Sunday. Thanks again, y'all.
Can't wait, guys. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Oh, here we go.